Welcome to the Winds of Chaos, the Dungeons & Dragons campaign where you can influence the course of the game. You can harness the Winds of Chaos, this nefarious force of change sweeping across the lands of Gondara, by donating bits during the stream to help or hinder our heroes. For 300 bits, our heroes may find a useful, mundane, non-magical item. For 400 or 500 bits, you can buff the monsters that our heroes are facing with a minor or major mutation, respectively. Special thanks to our community's very own Bo the Distance for creating the random monster mutation table that we roll on for these redeems. For 600 bits, you can compel a player character's flaw. 700 bits grants inspiration to one player character. That's a reroll of a d20 during a clutch moment. And for 800 bits, you can make Flutter Die roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, our community's favorite. Flutter's character, Kiona, is a wild magic sorcerer. That means that she doesn't have full control over her arcane powers, and every now and then, well, you'll just have to wait and see what happens. Finally, subscribers to the Dungeon Masters channel, that's Twitch TV/GhostPepper, can harness the Winds of Chaos to blow a custom NPC or magic item of appropriate level into the party's path. Please DM me on Discord for more info. Oh, one last thing. If you're a regular supporter of this campaign and redeeming or subscribing or things like that are things that you do fairly regularly, please consider subscribing to our monthly coffee plan. We use the proceeds from that to go directly towards funding improvements to the game, music, artwork, subscriptions to different services that make our game that much better. Any monthly supporters get a free Major Monster Mutation, Wild Magic Surge, custom NPC, or magic item once per month. We really appreciate all of our coffee subscribers, all of our bits redeemers, and every single one of you who watches the game. Please enjoy the show. You would like it. Hello. Hello, chat. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Peter. Oh, hi. Yeah, we can hear you.
Mic is not working on my OBS, of course. There it is. Hi, friend.
Hello, people.
Hello.
Hello.
I feel like I'm in a Disney pre-show.
A Disney pre-show. Oh my god.
The Ghost Pepper pre-chat thing. That was right where it was.
I hate it. I hate it. I don't even, when I'm hosting, I don't even play it anymore. I'm like, I'm not playing this anymore. I'm just
It does feel like the
Especially,
kind of thing where it's like, now climb into the vehicle and pull down your restraints.
yeah. Oh my god.
There is no script.
And then,
I think he just ad-libbed
I just did it. Yeah, I just did it.
What's cool is that
I just
actually
did it.
Wolf made like a little accompanying video once that was just a brief like couple of seconds of like
It was not good.
it was
I'm sure it was good.
It was great.
I thought it was good too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was me messing around in a video compositing
And it
program.
was great for like 30 seconds of whatever messing around that you did. Like, it was good.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god, would you guys? Because, like, holy crap.
Dude.
I listened to it, and it's like, it was on my old mic too. You remember that freaking
Peter
potato
has-
mic? Oh,
Peter has asked me like 5 times for a script, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure there isn't one. Like, I'm pretty
There
sure
isn't
he
one.
just sat down one day and just recorded a bunch
Yeah.
of whatever.
I'll send you the video if you want to like
Right.
listen to it a few times and transcribe it. I'll do that, but
I
Yeah,
mean,
I just-
I
I
can
just sat down
transcribe
and
it if
did
you
it.
want.
That was also before we had the coffee campaign, too.
I figured out a neat way to transcribe.
yes,
So you
yeah,
play video
That's
through your
not
speakers
included.
and use Microsoft Word to do transcribing for you, so you don't have to type it out.
right.
It works.
Look, guys, we can fix it somehow.
We have the
I've been
technology.
harassing Megan
That's right.
for it.
We'll get there.
Fellow Philumps, how are you guys doing? How is
Yeah, I
everybody
think
doing?
I mean, I'm
Oh!
doing great. Other than my horrible allergies, life is good.
Allergies suck, dude.
it's summer. It's summer.
I'm doing
You know
much
what?
better this week than I was last week.
That's good.
You know what, Collie? I have been hearing from people who live in our general vicinity, you and I, like colleagues, who they don't even have allergies, and they had allergies this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear
I
that I
never-
got hit by them this year too, and I've never had allergies
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's awful. I've always had allergies, but they've never been a problem. Like I've never
Yeah.
like my eyes feel like they're in the Sahara. Like it's so
yeah.
bad. Like,
You feel like you have like sandpaper on the insides of your eyelids.
yeah. It's
I have
just the
sneezed
That's the worst.
more times this year
Yeah.
than I think I've ever sneezed in my
I'm
whole life.
awfully sneezy this year, too. I don't know what's up with that.
Welcome to my world, everybody.
The pollen just decided to murder us all this year, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the tree pollen,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
I
awful.
think we should just get rid of trees. It's all these. It's
the
all
problem with
these
that is that we won't be able to breathe.
conscientious, like
Can't breathe, you can't
conscientious,
sneeze.
like net
Can't
zero
live either.
altruistic capitalism companies that are like, we're gonna
Sometimes
plant
that feels
extra
better when you're
trees,
sneezing your face off.
extra
Like how-
trees.
I like how Flutter is shaking her head like maybe that would just be better. Maybe it would just be better if they, if
No.
they got rid of everything.
I'm saying no.
Well,
that's
Flutter
terrible.
lives in a place.
She does live in a desert.
Flutter lives in a place with no natural vegetation, so
That's not true. We have 5 native plants. Thank you very much.
5. There you go.
Cactus probably have.
There's a handful. There's more than that. It's
Cactus
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
have pollen.
yeah.
Like
I
would believe it.
Us? No, we have Satan's tree here that causes awful allergies
We do
for
have
like
some
3 or 4
what
months.
type
out.
of
allergies.
tree?
Season.
What type
Yeah.
of tree is it? What?
It's the mountain cedar.
Yeah.
Cedar is really. The cedar
Cedars.
was really bad here this year too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cedars
mountain
are
cedar
brutal.
is
Yeah.
like Satan's plant. It's awful.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Mhm.
problem out here tends to be dust, actually, like because just the desert
Yeah.
kicks up all of the stuff all the time. There are days
Yeah.
when it's thick, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. This is believe it or not a D&D show.
Oh, right.
You'd be
Maybe at
Yeah.
some point.
Actually.
you'd be forgiven for not knowing that it's a D&D show with the way that we go on every single week.
Look at that, right
But,
on time. Smidgen bot with the question of the day.
Right on time. So we have a
Oh.
role play warm up question of the day, and that is, what is something your character is trying to improve about themselves? So what is something that your character is trying to improve about themselves? While our players are thinking of their answers to the question, I've got some thank yous to distribute. Thank you number 1 is to all of our coffee members, Ko-Fi members. Those are Pugworth, Bruce Campbell, Soup, Snosberries, and Bard Owl. Thank you very much for your very generous contributions. If you saw the little opening, the little opening video that I hate with the fire of 1,000 suns, because it just sounds so bad. Basically, you can redeem bits to have some influence over the game, and your coffee membership gives you a free redeem of any of those once a month. That includes making a magic item, making a custom NPC to appear in the campaign, buffing a monster with a major monster mutation, and making Kiona Wild Magic Surge are some of our more popular options for our coffee members. So if you're a coffee member, please use up those redeems. 100% of those proceeds from the coffee memberships go straight back into this campaign. So it's not a revenue source as such for
Just
any
rolled another
one of
unicorn,
us
you
or
guys.
any of us. What?
I just
What?
rolled another unicorn.
Right on.
I seriously worry
Right
about
on.
what would have happened to Mazra if he
Yeah.
had rolled a unicorn.
Look, it's
Second
all
thank
fine.
you. Second thank you is to our rules lawyers. Those are Bo the Distance and Starborn Striker. Although one of our rules lawyers is the guest dungeon master for today's session. So we'll see what rules lawyering goes on there. Maybe she'll learn to practice the key phrase. No, Jeremy. We were talking about that on my stream this afternoon. You got to practice the phrase. No, Jeremy.
Right, feel free to be an honorary rules lawyer. I'm
Yeah.
guessing you know the rules pretty well.
Yeah, for real.
What was the rule we were talking about, Ryan? It was that in the new edition of D&D that they're coming out with, rogues no longer get to sneak attack on their reaction. And my immediate response to that was just, no, Jeremy.
Not at my table.
That won't be happening. Yeah. It specifically says, it says on your turn. Gotcha. Yeah, they're changing the wording. I think it's
They
worded.
might not have liked the wording as
Yeah.
it's currently worded, so they made sure that they changed it, I think, for the update.
Yeah. Because the way it's worded right now essentially like allows you to use it on your reaction as like a loophole or something. I don't know. Maybe they
if
feel
you,
that it was a loophole, but
I
whatever.
feel like if you didn't use it on your turn, it's perfectly reasonable to use it on your reaction.
Yeah. Right, yeah. There are a few changes that they're bringing in there where they've been saying like this was actually how we always intended for it to work. But in any case, no, Jeremy, the most important part of being a dungeon master is knowing that phrase. Well,
I make no promises.
I mean that's up to Megan.
Oh,
that's
you
up to
meant
Megan.
you meant Ghost Pepper.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, any of you that have to be in charge at the moment.
Whoever's doing this.
Yeah, whoever's doing it.
Whoever actually is in charge.
Third thank you is Savano Sensel, who helps us to organize all these redeems during play, so that we can keep the game rolling. We don't have to stop and ask chat a whole bunch of questions when somebody redeems something. And the final thank you is to all of you in chat for hanging out with us, always being here every week, chilling with us, laughing with us, laughing at us as we make fools of ourselves. This wild campaign would be nothing without you out in chat, hanging out with us and sharing these experiences with us. So thank you for being you, and thank you for being here. So the roleplay warm-up question of the day: what is something your character is trying to improve about themselves? Megan, since you're the dungeon master, I will let you decide which answer it is, which order it is answered in. I think Rai Jones actually
Rai Jones said,
yeah,
"Be less of an asshole," I believe.
be less of an asshole. Yeah.
For
For which character, Rai?
I guess I can answer just quickly for my guest characters because it's easier for me than filling the chat with typing right now. I think Darfin probably should drink less, and he probably knows that, and probably thinks he should try to deal with that. And Efima doesn't think that she needs improvement. She's absolutely perfect the way that she is. And she knows absolutely everything with perfect accuracy and doesn't need to be corrected.
That is 100%
I think that Woosh should go next because he always tries to hide in the corner and wait until last. So he should go first this time.
When do I ever do that?
Every week.
Probably, maybe, I don't know, to be more, I don't know, to take more time before she judges people, maybe.
Mazra also thinks she's perfect in every way.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
How about Coliforms?
So the question wording is important here. We're not saying that he's succeeding, right? If we were
No, yeah, okay,
trying,
okay.
He's trying.
yeah. He's trying to get better about his like impulsiveness and like feeling like, aha, we can do anything.
Right.
Fearlessness, anyway.
Okay, we'll let Flutter go last because she had to do camera setup. So Ghost Pepper.
Okay. Iskander is working on letting go of. I've been thinking about Thomas Aquinas's Four Idols recently a lot. How basically, yeah, I know, Wolf. I know this is me we're talking about.
What a fucking nerd! Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
We actually had
Yeah, only
face-to-face
me. Only
conversation
me.
about this
No,
a
no.
few days
Look,
ago.
I read
We did have a we did have a yeah.
a Roman emperor the other day too. I get it.
Lord.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what it's
No, but
like to live
he-
with Ghost Pepper.
But he says that there are mainly four things that people pursue: money, power, pleasure, and fame. And none of them, like, ultimately, if you live your life pursuing these goals, you will never be happy because you can never have enough of any of those things, right? When you make them the center of what you're doing. And for reasons that may or may not come up in play, Iskander's idol that he pursues is fame. And he has reasons for that. Not he doesn't just want to be a celebrity just because, but he wants to rise in position, I suppose you could say. He wants recognition. He's working on liberating himself from that pursuit, where bettering your station in life can cross over into like vanity and overreach, and that's something that he's working on.
Okay. Flutter, I'm sorry. I should have made him go last.
it's fine. Look.
I'm sorry that you have to follow. Don't feel like you have to do a dissertation.
What do you
about
mean?
that.
What do you mean?
Just say,
3-point presentation before you answered.
just reference Shakespeare, even if there is no reference.
No.
Just be like, like how Shakespeare in some of his plays, he, and then just
Oh,
your thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Rice says that Flutter needs to be turned up on stream.
Dude,
Oh.
everybody's been saying that forever this week. I don't know what's happening. I didn't adjust anything. Why does it do this?
OBS just does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Just OBS, man. OBS.
All right. How
Yeah, it
does
used
that?
to
Is
be
that
everyone had to
better?
turn me down, and now everyone's got me at 200 anyway.
But yeah, because your mic kept cutting out for like a million years.
Ugh, yeah.
My device didn't get hijacked. I don't know. It's there. I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, Kiona doesn't trust anybody, and she feels like that's becoming an issue. So she feels like maybe
Fair.
she should work on her trust issues.
When did Kiona become Mazra?
The whole but this is the whole thing is that she realized after the Mazra incident where Mazra wasn't telling her what was going on that she was angry because she didn't trust her. So that is something that Kiona is now keenly aware of, and yeah. So Yeah. So it doesn't even extends even into her own group. So that's becoming an issue for her.
Mm.
So she's got to work on trusting people more, not less, too,
Yeah.
you guys. She has to trust people more.
And Poodle is very
the
trustworthy.
Opposite problem
So
of
I
what
don't know.
everybody has.
She'll pick someone to trust. It'll be the wrong person. It'll be a
Oh,
spiral.
God.
Exactly.
That's how these things
Exactly. That's
usually
how
go.
I
it
don't-
goes.
I want you guys to know that I don't do that on purpose. Like I don't
Mm.
like have
Fiona just
two
always picks
versions
the wrong
of
one.
every NPC. They trust him and they don't trust him person. Like I don't do that.
You know, that's
It's
never
like
occurred
there
to
are
me, but that's
times-
a great idea.
There are times when I'm like, I'm like, this person's lying to them, and then they trust them. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna be so mad at me when they find out. And then it's like, I put somebody who's like, this is your friend, and they're like, oh, no.
Holy moly.
It's true.
It's true. We
Welcome,
make the worst
Raiders.
decisions. Hi, Raiders. Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
Stevie Mill plays. Yo, how are you doing?
Stevie Mills, what are you playing?
Yeah, $6969. Welcome.
Dungeons and Dragons,
Satan's
Gate.
Yeah.
Gordito, what's up? Just wrapped up your D&D session. Fantastic. Tell us about it.
Oh
please.
yeah, tell us about it. We're
I
about
love
to
hearing about
start ours.
Yeah.
Who
we're
wants
just getting
to
started.
recap?
It's only been 40
what
minutes since we
happened?
went live.
Right, it's fine. We
we
call it
just-
the windbags
5
of chaos fondly by our
5
viewers.
minutes. Who wants to recap what happened last time on Winds of Chaos?
Mine would be like a fever dream recap, you guys. So it's not on me.
Some shitty god made a hallucination and made Masha see her
Excuse
mom.
me?
Oh yeah,
So-
the mom thing.
Look,
I need to look at my
punching a
notes.
god
God.
was not on Mazra's to-do list today, but it's gonna happen.
we might see one of
Wow. And that was it. That was the whole session. We went home after
That was it. That's all that happened.
No. In a wild twist of fate, the
first person
Mazra's
through the
mom
hidden portal
went
was
into a
Mazra.
portal. Yeah, and Mazra rushes in, which, to be fair, I think is entirely reasonable,
Oh,
and I
for
think any of
sure.
us would have done it, right?
Yeah.
That
Usually-
one I did do on purpose. That
Yeah.
is something I did do on purpose. I was like,
So good.
I'm gonna set
love
up a
it.
situation where Maz is gonna be the first one to run through that portal without thinking.
Oh,
Just because.
Right?
Thank you,
Right?
because we're to
That's
talk
it.
about this later.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for
there's
sure.
gonna be
We
discourse
had
with
a
Mazra.
discussion about going through portals, and then you turned around.
There's gonna be some discourse.
So for
Anyway.
the raiders who may not be familiar with our campaign, of course, Mazra is played by Wolf, is the reasonable one in the group, and the other two, Kiona and Foodle, have a tendency to run into strange portals without before formulating a plan,
Bad
and
situations,
uh,
or,
it
you know,
became a
first,
point
these
of
kinds of things.
became a point of character drama. Yeah.
There is a clip of Flutter literally saying Kiona's just gonna start fingering everything, so I feel like it's not an unwarranted.
It's true.
See shiny thing will touch.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Fiona's actual
Oh my god.
problem.
Session 3 in a pirate campaign. Oh my
Oh,
god.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
That's super
Ready
cool.
to flee the island before the seafarers
Oh.
go. Ooh, fun
Oh,
time.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Any other comments on what happened last
Yes,
time, or did you
we
just
ended
block
up
it out
in-
of your memory?
An astral plane, astral something, and got attacked by some giant creatures, like a sphinx thing, and
Yeah.
a giant boy.
Yeah, giant
and-
boy. And there was
Giant
Giant
a,
angel.
sphinx,
It was- I
sphinx
thought it was an
thing,
angel, but it
giant
was more of a
boy.
wraith, wasn't it? It
Oh,
was
Creepy,
Yeah.
creepy angel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy angel thing.
Oh, it was. Oh.
Yeah.
And we got lucky.
And we
Yeah. Just
And a
kicked her butt.
a
unicorn spawned.
just a like. I swear Megan flipped through like the children's public school library Greek mythology book and picked the three
Scariest
worst
creatures.
monsters, the three
Yeah.
most horrifying creatures in there.
Good lord.
What makes you think I needed to read the children's
Yeah, I was gonna
mythology?
say.
Oh, that's
maybe
Yeah,
you
no,
did
well.
do that.
I'm specifically thinking of a book that was in my elementary school library that gave me nightmares.
You want to go grab my copy of Bullfinch's mythology? I can
Yeah, right?
do that.
A
She probably
Merfolk
just threw
World
3
War Journal. That
darts
sounds so
at,
much
like,
fun, yo.
her own mythology whiteboard, you know? Like,
That's right.
How dare you know about that?
But then after we defeated this cavalcade of nightmares, the metaphorical clouds
Plane.
parted. I don't think
The
there
astral
were
plane
any clouds.
materialized a building
But,
somewhere in
yeah,
front of us.
There was like a faraway castle, and then the Castlevania theme started playing.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah.
And we get to go in and choose a room, and there are a bunch of different
Yeah.
rooms, and they have different names.
There are a bunch of different. What were the symbols? Weren't there like symbols on the door or something like that?
There were
I don't
words
remember that part.
Rejuvenation,
There were
reproduction,
words.
reflection, reliability, reverie, plus a 6th door. That is just big and extravagant.
ominous.
Yeah.
mhm.
If
Or
we
not
if
ominous,
we
depending on how you look at it.
if we go in the reproduction room, I'm putting on one of those like the suits that contractors wear when they like fumigate a property, like
Get out the black light.
no, don't get out the black light.
So, where we ended last session, you had just entered into the realm, the fortress proper of the Star Striker, the goddess of fate. And you found yourself in front of a series of doors. And there was something else that you may remember that I said happened when you stepped through the doors into the foyer of this place. And that is that once again, the rules of reality have slightly altered. In this space, inspiration no longer functions, but you are subject to something that is called the Crucible of Fate, which anybody who's like, wait, that's from High Rollers. Yes, I straight up stole Mark's thing because I love it. So what's going to happen at the beginning of this session is that we are all going to roll a d6 in order to determine the tilt of fate. For every 1 to 3 rolled on the die, I get a dice. And for every 4 to 6 rolled on the die, you get a die. And I have dice sets here that I'm going to use to track them. But of course, you guys can also use your own tallies. Every time you use one of your fate dice, I get it. And every time I use one of my fate dice, you get it. So it's kind of like the force point system in Star Wars.
And are they like used as modifiers to rolls?
So yeah, these I'm gonna slightly modify the way Mark does it on High Rollers. Is he makes you say that you're gonna use a fate die and roll it right from the start before you know what your result is. I'm gonna let you use it more like Bardic Inspiration if you aren't sure whether or not you're gonna succeed and you think that a d6 is gonna help you. You can roll a fate die and see if you get a success from it, essentially.
Right.
So
Right.
I did say I was gonna write this down and I forgot to send it to you guys. Basically, the way it works is you can use it on any attack roll, skill check, or saving throw. You cannot use it on damage, although I can. And you can also trade a fate die to the GM for a devil's bargain. So that means that you can use the die to do something cool that wouldn't necessarily normally work within the mechanics of the game, or to create some kind of advantage in the terrain. Like if you're looking for a specific type of object that you think would help you, you can possibly spend a fate die in order to get the GM to allow you to say that it exists. You
That
can't use it to
sounds
gain
awesome.
advantage on a roll, but that's essentially what they're for.
And how
Um,
many does Foodle have?
Well, there
Or
will
me?
there'll be one die for each of us. So, the way it's gonna work is everybody say what they roll. I rolled a 5, which means that the players get a die.
I rolled a 5.
That means that the players get a die.
Woohoo!
I
Okay,
rolled a
hold on.
3.
Rolled a 3, that means that I get a die.
I rolled a 1.
That means that I get a die.
That's a
And
great
woof,
start.
4.
4.
That means that the players get a die. So currently, I'm not sure how we would mark this in Roll20, but I have my little dice as indicators here. So the players have 3 dice and the GM has 2. That means that you guys as players have a pool of 3 dice that you can use at any time. Any one of you can use them. And when you use a fate die, it transforms magically into a GM fate die. And then if I use one of my fate dice, it transforms magically into a player die. So
Okay.
that's how they work. You can
Okay.
I mean, the way you guys want to strategize with your fate is up to you. If you guys want to encourage each other when to use them. If one of you wants to just radically just use a die, then that's fine. You can only use 1 fate die per roll, so you can't like chain all 3 fate dice
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
a
yeah.
success on something.
Yeah.
But so there you go. As you settle in to as you come into this place of the fate goddess, you feel this sort of twisting of fate around you, and you feel that you may be able to manipulate the Wheel of Fortune in your favor under certain circumstances. And you see before you the doors that were mentioned at the beginning of the session.
All right.
Well, those are some big words. Which door do we go in? Wait, that door doesn't have any words.
Yeah, but it doesn't look too friendly to me.
Yeah, that's true. Well, do any of you have like a good feeling about any of the doors?
Absolutely not.
I have a bad feeling about this whole place.
This one
Hmm.
says rejuvenation. Isn't that nice, right? That's like when you get a nice bath and you feel good, right? You feel rejuvenated. At least that's what my Aunt Rika used to say.
Oh,
So maybe that one sounds like it could be nice.
it does seem good. Here, I've got a question though. We just took a short rest. I'm feeling rejuvenated. Hoodle says it like he's never heard it before. So maybe we save that door? I don't know.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think that probably is a good idea. I'm not doing too awfully bad, I suppose.
It's certainly not the worst suggestion, but I feel I should caution you that Narema is notoriously circumspect.
Huh?
I don't think Foodle knows that word either.
I don't think Kiona knows that word either, so she'll be
You
looking off.
you may Iskander notices the vacant looks being directed back towards him. You may not be able to trust the implied meaning of what's on the door.
Oh.
Nonetheless, I second your suggestion, Foodle.
Okay, so what are the doors? So there was.
I have it listed on
Flutter
Roll20.
listed them in Roll20 chat,
Oh, perfect.
right above my roll.
Reproduction. Yeah, that's the.
I don't want to. Oh my
No,
god.
that sounds terrifying to me. No,
Very bad feeling about
that's
that.
gonna be a terrible room. I know it.
Well, okay. Here's a question, Iskander. So you were saying, Narema, she's maybe not trustworthy. Why don't we try the reliability door? Because that'll sort of show us maybe whether we can trust the stuff written on the doors.
Well,
I
but
don't
what's
know.
reliable?
I don't know.
I think this suggestion is as good as any other. I see no clue jumping out at us from the names on these doors.
I suppose you're right.
What does the...
Actually,
Kiona will look at
can
Nazra.
would you Megan, entertain an investigation or history check to see like are there any other like I assume this chamber is like ornately
yeah, you
carved
can-
in some way.
Investigate the room if you would like. Yep.
Nazra.
Review.
While he's doing that, can you
Yes.
describe the ominous door? Like it's a
It's a-
closed door. It's not like an
it's a
open
large-
portal to nothing.
Yeah, so it's like a large set of like ornate wooden double doors. Like the kind of doors that you would expect to lead into an important room. So Iskander, who has made it clear that he doesn't trust this goddess at all, takes a moment to go around to examine each of the doors, to look at, I assume, the floor, to look around for potential traps. You don't see anything that like makes you think that there is anything dangerous in the room that you're standing in. You notice that for most of the doors, they just have the singular word written on them. There is a small asterisk on the door underneath where it says reliability. That basically says entry constitutes agreement to all terms and conditions. Do you try to open any of the doors, or are you just looking at them?
I'm just looking at them.
Yeah.
No, Iskander
other
knows
doors-
better.
Yeah,
That's
all of the
incredible.
other doors just have a singular word, but you do notice that slight small print written on them.
And there are no like hieroglyphs or pictographs or anything like that around the room.
There's no, yeah, there are decorations, but they seem like the
Yeah.
sort of like these are like depictions of creatures or events throughout history. You get the impression that it's very similar to the temple that you came from, where it's like styled in the way that the worshippers of this goddess would sort of decorate her space, like styled to please her. There doesn't
Right.
seem to be any hidden meaning or anything that you can discern.
Gotcha. Thank you, Dungeon Master.
You're welcome.
I don't like the sound of these terms and conditions,
Right.
but I suspect
It's not
this
polite
is
to have something like that without showing us what they are.
indeed. Although Narema is all about privileged information.
What about Rivery? I feel like
Knowing
I've
that
heard
room
that
will just
word, but I don't know what it means.
Walk around high for an hour.
Oh, I thought it was like a very rivery place.
Oh,
Like
but
the
it's-
lots of-
No,
lots of-
no.
Not
It
quite.
says reverie.
Oh,
Like a river.
what's a rever?
No.
I know what a reaver is.
It's a
A reaver or a reaver?
a reaver or a reaver.
To be honest, I don't know.
I'm not
Everyone
sure
keeps
the
asking that. I don't
difference
know.
between a
I don't
reader,
know.
Poodle.
It's like imagine when you're lost in thought, thinking about
So-
something and your
so-
mind is elsewhere. That's what that
A
means.
dreamlike state.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean that sounds nice.
I don't know. Sometimes dreamlike states can be not nice too. Kiona's been through a handful of those.
I suspect that at least half of these doors contain not nice things. At least
Well,
half.
Here's the thing. I need food and water to survive, so I think we need to start opening doors. Otherwise, we might just be here forever.
Indeed.
Look, I'm sure we've got a small pantry in the back of holding.
Let's above
I
table. Let's just go
does not
through.
refrigerate food.
No,
just
you can
so
put jerky in there. Jerky.
Let's just go through reliability.
Yeah,
Our
Let's
It's
just
attack.
go through reliability. Yeah.
Ghost asked me how long this dungeon was gonna take, and based on how
Yeah.
long you guys have spent deciding on a door,
to win bags of chaos,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
you
Let's go.
you test the reliability door. It is unlocked. It allows you to open the door, and do you step inside?
Can we peek first?
Sure. Beyond the door, you see a simple circular room. It looks cozy. Like it looks like the kind of lounge where nobility might hang out for like afternoon tea or something like that.
Mazra throws a ball bearing in the room.
Nothing happens. It bounces. It rolls into not a corner because there are no corners in this room, but it rolls under a chair.
Well,
Poodle steps into the room.
Kyoto
Okay.
followed right after.
Yep. The scanner
Does
goes
the
in
door
as well.
open in or out?
I would say inward.
Okay, can I put my rod in the door to keep it from
To try
closing?
and prop it open? You can try.
It's never a good idea to put your rod in the door.
I mean,
You
it's
can
not gonna be the first
certainly
time.
It's kind of a habit of Mazra's, actually.
Go ahead.
I don't want to lose it.
What are you choosing to do right now?
I don't trust you.
You gotta make a decision.
Do it or don't.
Do
Do it or
something.
don't.
Fine. I'll keep it in my pants.
Okay, so you all enter the room. I take it.
The room is we're in the room. Yes.
It's
The
nice.
The door closes behind you, and you feel a warm, tingling sensation of magic watch over you. You do not get a saving throw because this is the realm of a goddess, and you agreed to the terms and conditions when you entered the room.
Stop making me tingle.
Welcome to what I like to call the Zone of Truth or Dare. You are currently under the effects of the Zone of Truth or Dare spell. While you are under the effects
The
of this
zone-
spell, the Zone of Truth or Dare, you cannot
I've heard of the zone of truth.
Yes, this is the Zone of Truth or Dare. While under the effects of the Zone of Truth or Dare, it is impossible for your character to tell a lie. You can't not lie.
Oh my god.
When you look at the back of the door, you see a big number 3, which I will tell you means in order to open the door and leave this room, you must survive 3 rounds of Zone of
No.
Truth or Dare. Please roll initiative.
Oh
Oh
God.
my goodness.
Okay.
My goodness gracious.
All right. So here's Foodle's fake initiative because
This is basically a Zone of Truth that I have
oh, that would have been.
Come
modified
on.
by the use of a goddess.
I love it.
All right, now I have to
All right.
turn on the turn timer. Turn on the turn timer. I gotta remember
Time
how I
turner.
did that. The time turner. There it is.
Tom Turner.
Perfect. And I want to do
I never roll this well on initiative. What the heck?
order. Okay. So, Mazra, truth or dare?
What?
You hear a disembodied voice say, Mazra, truth or dare?
Kiona looks nervously at Mazra.
True.
Iskander-
What do you want?
Iskander kind of taps Mazra on the shoulder. You did agree to the terms and conditions. It would be unwise of you to try to go back on them.
Actually, I should get you to roll for this. You said truth?
Yeah.
Roll a d8.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Alright, so remember, you cannot tell a lie. The disembodied voice clears its throat and says, what action in your life are you most ashamed of?
Jeez. I hate this room.
I'm actually thinking. So I'm thinking as me.
Yona has a
Answer.
clear idea of what the answer should be.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
It could be whatever Kiona's
She's
It
thinking.
like
popped
looking hard at
into
her.
my head at the
Right.
same time.
You can't.
Yeah,
Mazra
Fiona's
feels
over here like,
she
that
was-
better be your answer.
to tell the truth, yeah.
Most ashamed of. All right.
Most ashamed of.
Being too weak to save my father.
Interesting.
Frankly, that's a better answer than both Flutter and I were thinking.
Of course it is. I would have been personally disappointed if the answer that I was thinking was the one that she said. But Kiona, on the other hand,
Don't worry, Polly. There's a blog post.
Oh, perfect.
All right. There's a small ding when the question is answered, and then the disembodied voice returns to say, Iskander, truth or dare?
I always believe in living life honestly. I choose truth.
Roll a d8. If you roll a 1, roll again.
8.
What is your favorite pointless talent? What?
Why couldn't have I?
I'm thinking.
thought
I'm
that
thinking. I'm thinking about this one. I'm actually quite good at balancing a spoon on my nose.
Wait, really?
Yes. Do you have a spoon?
Boodle grabs a spoon from the tea table in the fancy room.
Okay. And a scanner will do like a, and he'll balance the spoon on his nose.
Roll a performance check.
Oh!
What?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on. Come on.
That's what I was hoping for.
10.
You know, it sticks around for a hot minute. You know, Foodle is probably moderately satisfied with what's happening.
That's so cool. My uncle used to do that.
You
Ah.
hear,
A fellow man of culture.
you hear a soft ding, and a disembodied voice returns to say, Foodle, truth or dare?
Dare.
Roll a d12.
A D12? Oh, what
I
am I
was
getting
hoping.
Foodle into? I mean, it's Foodle. He's
I
gonna
know,
go
because
dare,
Kiona's
right?
gonna do it if it's not too scary. Or
All
she
right,
would if she has to.
D12. 7. What have I gotten myself into?
This might actually be a good one for you to have rolled.
Oh.
Because I believe you do have spells, yes?
Foodle does have some spells, yeah.
Expend your highest level spell slot casting one of your lowest level spells on one of your companions. Now imagine if Kiona had rolled that one.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Okay, so
there's a
expend a
right
highest
move.
level spell.
Expend your highest level spell
On
slot
my
casting
lowest
one of
level.
your lowest level spells. Yeah, not a cantrip, but
Right.
first level spell.
Like a leveled spell. Okay.
Mhm.
Is anybody injured at all? Like any hit points missing?
Yes.
Foodle is going to cast Cure Wounds on Iskander.
Nice.
Wow, that's a good one too. Dang. Okay.
I was hoping.
I'm very sad that Kiona didn't get that one.
My lowest
Oh,
level
that
spells
was
are Mage Armor and
brutal.
Shield.
Is that
so-
upcast though?
Yeah, but you
Well,
had
Foodle
to
only
upcast
has
it.
level 1 spell slots. He's level 3 ranger. He's
Oh,
literally
he only has level 1 spell slots.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
he doesn't even
also-
have a second.
Still.
Random is random.
Yeah.
Still, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that was lucky.
Yeah, I was hoping
In
that
terms-
Kiona
in
would
terms
have to
of
do, like,
balance, that
scorching
was-
rays or
yeah.
something, yeah.
Oh,
Doesn't have that
yeah.
anymore. She doesn't have any low level damage spells except her cantrip.
I mean,
It's crazy.
it doesn't matter because Foodle rolled it. So
Yeah.
you cast the
Yeah.
spell, the ding occurs, and the voice returns to say, Kiona, truth or dare?
Well, no, I don't. After that, I don't know. She kind of looks over at Mazra.
Go with your heart.
Dare.
Roll a d12.
Oh no. What have I done? 9.
Okay, I am gonna send you a message on
Oh,
Discord.
Uh-oh. Hi, Raiders. Welcome.
A message
Welcome
on
to
Discord.
Hmm.
Oh god. That can't be good.
You know, Foodle. Fiona turns around and looks at Poodle. I once had my horse leap over a whole 36 barrels during a performance that were on fire all at once.
Wait, that's incredible.
Right? It was
Fiona,
the
you
biggest
should-
trick
I
I
mean-
ever pulled off, Poodle.
That's wild. I can't believe you've never done that again. We should do that the next time we're at a tavern.
You know,
They'll
I
give us
mean,
free food for a week.
It's been a long time, so I'm not sure that I'll be up to snuff anymore, but it was one thing I managed to do once.
Flaming
On
barrels.
time. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You hear a soft ding.
Did they all
And
die?
Fiona sighs.
number-
Like really?
The
She's
number-
like,
You
sweating
chose the right
bullets.
person to
We're
tell that
sweating
to.
Uh,
Oh,
since it's
message-
over,
The message that she sent me was make a genuine attempt to convince another member of the party of something silly but plausible about your character.
oh my god. She chose the right party member
as soon as she
too.
said food, I was like,
Fiona
this
goes
is a
like
shoe-in.
this. Whoa, and looks at Poodle.
Amazing.
Actually, she just
That's so
swings
good.
around and just.
Amazing.
And you see the number on the door goes down from 3 to 2.
Oh,
Mazra, truth or dare?
Truth.
Roll a d8.
oh, who's got a do this one more time.
Oh. That was what Ghost rolled, right?
Yes. So roll again.
7.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
Aww. Boss was really coming out of her shell today. This is
You're so pretty emotional.
cute.
One time on a festival day
At band camp.
at band camp,
Hopefully,
My
like
parents
Barbara
and
went to band camp.
made traditional orcish food together.
Oh, really? Which
And
which
then
food?
It was a lovely, and she glances over at Kiona a minute. A lovely stew
An
with
equestrian
meat
goulash.
and vegetables and hot pastries. And it was the biggest meal we'd eaten in several months.
That sounds wonderful. You know, that reminds me, every third day at Lumbro, we and Foodle just launches into how they always do like meals together.
Eventually, there's a soft ding, and you hear Iskander, truth or dare.
Foodle's still talking, and it's like ding,
Oh, yeah.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Truth or dare? Truth or dare? Truth or dare?
I shall elect to be daring this time.
All right,
Dare,
roll
please.
Roll a d12. If you get the
2.
number that came up already, all right. Number 2. Also sad that Foodle didn't get this one. Unleash the full number of attacks possible that you have for one round on one of your
Oh,
companions and attempt to hit them as few times as possible. If you have an action surge available, you must use it.
Oh no, that would have been 6 fucking attacks.
I know.
Do I? I don't think I have action surge.
Also, if you're dual wielding, then you have to use your offhand attack as well.
I do not dual wield.
I will also say, because the Crucible of Fate is to help you succeed, that if you wished, you could use a fate die to subtract from your attack roll in this instance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I am going to turn to Foodle.
Huh? Why is everyone looking at me? Why
Why
were you just turning to Foodle?
Yo, Foodle.
And Iskander is going to draw his curved blade.
It's a beautiful blade.
Nothing personal about this, Foodle. Please be careful.
What?
And he's gonna grip it and Iskander gets 1 attack, blessedly.
I was so
Here
hoping
I
Foodle
was.
would get this one.
Here I was last week bemoaning that thieves only get 1 attack. Now I'm glad. Yeah. So here we go. Oh,
No.
22.
What? You were supposed to miss.
You
That is a
can
good
use the
roll.
fate die to subtract from it if you wish.
Somebody
Means that I will inherit
else
the fate die.
can use something
I
that's
was
not a
gonna
fate
bend
die.
luck, but can I bend luck against this? How much would
I
it
think-
take
can
to hit
you-
Poodle?
What's
She-
the
you
AC?
can-
Luck works. Can you post
You
it?
can bend luck against me.
Yeah, you can bend luck. It's just a matter of if it'll be enough, because I think she only gets a D4.
Yeah, 1d4
Oh
though.
yeah.
Would it be enough
Oh.
to...
Well, Foodle's AC is 19, so it would have to be a
So
4. I
it would
think.
have... Well, it has happened before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Alright. It's a 3.
Oh,
Right. right, so meets it, beats it.
Oh.
Can you use a fate
Yeah,
die?
meets beats.
Can you use a
What do we
fate die
think,
if you
team?
want.
Sneak attack.
I don't-
isn't he? We're gonna have to.
Do I have to? Do I have to try to deal the maximum amount of damage?
It doesn't say that, so
Yeah, so I'm
you're
gonna
allowed
withhold
to
sneak
choose when
attack.
you use your sneak attack, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well
so I'm
then
not
maybe
going to.
we should save the fate die then.
All right. So roll damage.
Oh God.
9.
Okay, that's not
Okay.
too terrible.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. I rolled a 2 on the weapon die.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that,
Alright.
little friend.
You hear a soft ding. Foodle, truth or dare?
Oh gosh.
Fool hasn't done truth yet. Truth.
Roll a d8.
Right, a D8. Oh God.
And if you get a number that already came up, then re-roll. 4.
Why are you laughing? What? What is that
Uh-oh.
reaction?
Uh-oh.
If you had to kill a member of the group to escape this place, who would you choose?
Boodle sort of
Yes,
glares
beautiful.
at Iskander and says, Iskander!
Wow.
I accept it. I accept it.
Holy shit, that is just a brutal question.
Can't kill a lie, so.
I feel like any of
sorry,
us would have picked
Iskander.
Iskander except Iskander, maybe. That was the thing.
Yeah,
though, like,
that's,
we'd
can
all
you
be like,
imagine
Yeah.
Iskander about that question?
Sorry.
Oh God, that would have
Never
been...
know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
Yeah.
tell a lie if there's some secret underlying resentment
that's
towards
true.
one of your other
Right,
party
right.
members.
No, Foodle, like, he would die for Fiona Mosra, so get him serious.
Fiona, truth or dare?
Can he choose himself? Because he would kill himself before he'd kill anyone else.
I mean, you kind of already answered the question, but
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
but like super truthfully, if he can choose himself, he would. Like that's
I
what
think-
Foodle would do. But anyway,
I think with the way the question is worded, you
It's
could
your other
pick
party
yourself.
members.
it
That
didn't
is-
You are-
specify.
Oh.
Yeah.
oh well.
Well,
In
it
that
didn't
case, because
specify,
Foodle can't tell a lie, he would say, I would just kill myself. I don't want any of you guys to die.
And you hear the ding, and Kiona, truth or dare?
Well, I was gonna pick truth, but now again.
It's scary.
Truth, roll a d8.
8 was already done, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
1.
That
one
was already done as well.
This
yeah.
dice is just 8s and 1s, a 5.
What is the biggest lie you have ever told?
Oh.
You guys are way too excited about this.
Boodle, I never did jump 3 dozen barrels that were on firepower.
No!
It's the biggest lie that you've
No,
ever
there's
told.
no way. There's no way. Hold on. I'm trying to think.
You
I
do not
feel
hear a
like-
ding.
I feel like Kiona, we as a party, and Kiona was probably part of it, we probably bullshitted some folks. Bigger than that, but I'm trying to think about the campaign, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It can be outside. If you
Right.
feel like your character did something outside of the campaign that
Oh,
would
true.
fulfill the answer, you can use it. I doubt that what she just told Foodle was the biggest lie she ever told. It wasn't all that hard to convince Foodle.
True. I know you guys are keeping something from Foodle, like Mazra and Kiona are. I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was that we were like working with
Oh, yeah.
someone he really hated.
Oh.
Findlebeak being clean.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, we didn't lie.
It
we
wasn't
just-
Findlebeak.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
we didn't. No, it was. Who was it that
It
we
was,
were working with?
It was Rezik.
Oh,
Rezik.
Rezik,
Oh,
yes.
Rezik.
We did lie about
the truth,
Lied about
truth,
it,
the truth about
But
his.
wasn't it Mazra
his
that lied about that?
past.
Or
Yeah,
was
I don't
it-
think
I
Kiona
think
had
it
that
was.
lie.
You're
That
right.
lie.
No,
I think I think that was Mazra's lie.
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
Mazra's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Monsters has
think. I'm
many-
honestly trying to think of something that Kiona's keeping that.
Mm.
But does it count if you just haven't said it?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a lie. That's just not, telling somebody something.
Right.
It's a lie that you've told.
It did say the biggest lie.
It's
that
not a
you've ever
secret that
told.
you've kept. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a lie
Fair.
that you've
Right.
actively told.
Mhm.
Right.
Ooh, this is tough, you guys.
I genuinely am not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. All of her secrets are like out in the open now. Everybody knows about Kiona Lottie and all the stuff.
Well, maybe it's something from when she.
It
was
doesn't
young.
necessarily have to be a lie that you told to the party.
Right.
True.
I guess that's true.
Could be
That's what
something
I was thinking.
from
Did we lie to
your
them
From her
backstory.
past,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
um
Like we've definitely lied to NPCs.
Oh, I
you
just
know
thought
what
of
I
one that would be
mean?
really
Like,
horrible.
Say
oh,
it.
Well, this might be it then.
I lied to Rika about having to do my chores the day she was kicked by that donkey. I
Good
should
one.
have been tended that donkey that day. And she'll like kind of start dying, like crumble into tears a little bit about it.
And you hear the soft ding.
Kiona's sobbing in the
And-
background.
The number on the door
I was
goes
just patting her on the
from-
shoulder.
2 down to 1. And because Mazra chose truth for the first 2 rounds of this game, it triggers the hidden mechanic of this game that prevents you from being super lame, and you have to do a dare this round.
Oh.
So roll D12.
If Kiona wants it, Andrew will be sort of nuzzling.
Roll
Oh,
a
she
10.
would really love that. That would make her feel
Okay.
so much better.
Okay, yeah, Andrew. is
Has
nuzzling.
10 been done yet?
No, you won't mind this one. Attempt a great feat of athletics.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to separate athletics and acrobatics. Like, what? Okay, what she'll do is she'll.
If it
Huh?
helps, there's a roll for this one, so you can flavor it however you want. But at the end of the day, you have to roll an athletics check to see if you succeed.
Okay, I'm worried that it's gonna be like a. Maybe it doesn't really matter. You said there's like a tea set or something, tea table.
Yeah, sure. You can
She'll-
say that there are things in this room.
She'll
for
try and like, do like a parkour over the table without knocking anything off. I suppose. I don't know.
sure. All right. Attempt to do your great feat by rolling an athletics check.
All right. I was gonna say she might try and like lift Iskander, but I don't think that'll be.
Ooh.
Wow.
Tell us what it looks like when you succeed at a great feat
Yeah.
of athletics.
She just does this like amazing, like huge jump and like lands in the middle of the table, like on one foot amid all of the accoutrement, and then just like does like a backflip off of it without disturbing anything.
Hell yeah, you do.
Oh, well, that was
Nice.
so cool.
And as she does her backflip, she flips the bird at the ceiling where the voice came from.
It does not react. You hear a ding. There's that ding. Iskander, I believe, did a dare the last time, so you get to choose for the final round whether you want a truth or a dare.
I will
I
choose
think,
truth.
I think everybody else did at least one dare. Roll a d8. And re-roll if the number comes up that was already...
3.
What price would be required for you to betray your party? What would somebody have to pay you
Ooh,
in
this is
order
gonna
to
give
get
us
you
a
to
whole lot
betray
of information
your
about
party?
how much we should trust Iskander.
Oh
This is-
my god!
This was
Why
an
is it a
interesting
Skander?
person for it to answer this question.
Iskander looks at the rest of the party a little
Whoa,
bit
looking
wide-eyed
back
and
at
taken
him.
aback by the question. I suppose it would have to be the opportunity to know some great lost truth about the world.
Iskander?
The lost truth?
What? I'm a living person.
I'm sorry.
I changed my
Give us up
answer,
for a lost
Narema.
truth.
I changed my answer. It's not me. It's Iskander.
Poodle, everybody has a prize.
Do I? Do you?
I'm
Wait
sorry.
a minute. Hold on. Mazra, do you?
It's not my question to answer.
You would rather not know the answer to that question, Foodle.
There's a soft ding, and you hear Foodle, truth or dare?
Dare.
Alright, roll a d12.
Oh,
I think Foodle has done dare every single time.
No, he didn't. He did one
No, he did
truth.
truth. He
that
did
was-
No, I'm pretty sure you did. Did you? Maybe you did. Oh yeah, you did, because you
Yeah,
had to ask who you were gonna kill. That's true.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
10. I don't know if 10 dare has been done. That sounds familiar, but
Let's see.
That's the one I just did, I think.
Yeah.
It's the one that
Oh,
Mazra just
okay.
did, so
All right,
roll
let's try it
again.
11.
Endure a wild magic surge. Roll on the table.
Oh,
jeez.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! All right, let me
I've got
get
the
my.
chart
I
up
never
already.
use these. Let me
Yeah,
get my.
I figured Butter would
viewer-
have it, so I don't have the
Oh,
table. I will
thank
trust
you.
that she tells us the right thing.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
can drop it
oh
right over
god,
here on
here
the
we
thing.
go. All right.
You can only see part of
So that is. How does so I never use these. What's the single digit? What's the double digit?
So do you have one that has two digits? So do you have a percentile dice like this
I do.
that has
I've got.
the two numbers? So that's the
Yeah.
tens position, and then the single digit is the
Oh.
ones position.
Okay. 65.
it. 65.
I thought it was 09.
Up
and
to
I was
3
like, wait,
creatures you
what?
choose within 30 feet of you take 4d10 lightning damage.
Ugh.
Up to 3 creatures.
Up
4d10
to 3.
lightning damage. Up to 3.
You get to pick.
4d10.
I choose none of them.
You have to pick at
Up
least
to
one.
3.
Okay.
Isn't
and how does
Kiona
it-
resistant
read it
to
again,
lightning
read it
now?
again?
Only when she's got her draconic spirit out, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get that whip though.
Did that give me
Hold
right
on, read it again. So up to 3.
That doesn't make her resistant to
Resistant,
lightning
yeah.
damage.
Up to
Up
three
to 3
creatures,
creatures
take...
you choose within 30 feet of you take 4d10 lightning damage.
4d10, brother.
So,
Poodle
you get
can
to pick.
choose himself then.
I'm gonna say that it says up to 3 creatures within a certain number of feet of you. I don't think you can pick yourself. I think the
Okay,
lightning
okay.
shoots off of you and hits one of you. You gotta pick somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Point of order, and you
Poodle-
can note, Jeremy, this, but D&D is always very specific with language, and so
I'm
it would
going
say
to-
specifically other creatures.
I am specifying that he has to pick at least one.
Okay.
I could say that he has to do it to all 3 of you. I'm gonna let him
Fair,
choose
fair.
just one.
Look,
If
she
you
Okay.
wanna
wants to
only
cause
choose one.
max pain, psychic damage to us.
Foodle panics and says, "Sorry, Iskander," and blasts Iskander for the healing he just did. Oh,
I
God.
just,
What
yeah.
is it? What is it?
40-10.
40-10?
Yeah.
Brother. Okay, here we go. All right.
Roll low, baby.
Roll those 4 10s.
All right, come on. Here we go. That's a 5. Great. That's a 6, so 11. That's a 4, 15. Oh, and a 6 for 20.
Did you evasion that?
21.
21.
21.
No, because
That-
there's no
you
dex
just take the
save.
damage.
He just takes
Yeah.
full damage.
Jeez.
And I'm specifically saying that because this wild magic surge was caused by a goddess's game. That's why
Yeah,
you weren't
yeah.
able to target yourself.
That makes sense.
She sets the rules.
Rick. Sorry. At
Kiona,
least I healed you, jeez.
truth or dare?
I don't know. They both seem pretty
You're
terrible. at this point.
traumatized by everything now.
Jeez.
Yeah, really.
She's literally like flipping a coin in her head. I guess. Dare.
Roll a d12.
Roll a d12. I'm gonna roll a physical. There it is. My purple physical. 5? Did we do a 5? Was that just a 5 just then?
We did not do. Swap one magical item with another member of your party for the duration of the next encounter. So the next time you fight an encounter, you and one other person have to swap magic items. I will assume that you attune to them because there is magic at play here. So swap one of your attuned magical items with another member of the party. You're muted, Ghost.
Sorry. Iskander will volunteer.
All right. Well,
He takes the wrap that he wraps around his head. He takes that off, and he hands it to you. Here you go.
I guess you can have my boots. She's
Very well.
wearing
What
the
do they do?
The winged boots.
The winged boots. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so much better than the item I just gave you.
She doesn't have many. Not. I guess she could have given him the ring of Chagrin.
Say,
but I didn't like.
Yeah.
Should I
This
do
is
that
a
instead?
scarf.
Should she do that?
This is a
I don't know.
scarf
Just give him the
of
winged boots.
yeah. This is a scarf of water breathing.
Oh. I can breathe underwater now. Cool.
So I will let you guys know when you swap back. For now, consider
Okay.
the items swippity swappity. And you have survived. There's a final ding. The door opens. Above table, would you like to know what the dares were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of these were pretty hard to come up with, but here we go. The dares. Expend your highest level spell slot to cast one of your highest level spells on a companion. I was hoping
Yep.
Kiana would get that one. Unleash the full number of attacks possible on one of your companions, attempting to hit as few times as possible. If you have an action surge, you must use it.
Yep.
Drink the mystery potion that appears
Oh,
in
God.
the room. It has a random
Oh.
effect.
Would have been so good for that one. He'd have been
Oh,
like,
he would have loved it. Let's do it.
Tell the other members. Tell the other members of the party your favorite thing about them. Sadly, no one rolled that one.
Oh yeah.
Swap one magical item with another party member for the duration of the next encounter. Kiss another member of your party. You may choose randomly, but don't have to. Expend your highest level spell slot, casting one of your lowest level spells on one of your companions. The eighth one was very specifically make use of Foodle's magic herb bag, since it has a random effect. So essentially, make use of that. Make a genuine attempt to convince another member of the party of something silly but plausible about your character. Attempt a great feat of athletics. The DC was 23, so Mazra fulfilled that. Endure a wild magic surge, which is a roll on the table. And number 12 was attempt to pick a companion's pocket.
Oh wow.
Come on.
Right.
Those are great. Holy shit.
And the truths that did not come up were, what is your greatest fear? And if you could have any one thing in the world, what would it be? So there you go. You have survived the zone of truth or dare. The door opens back up, and you are able to pass back out into
Thanks for the rage.
the lobby.
Well, that was thoroughly unpleasant.
Indeed.
Sorry about that.
While you guys talk, I'm just gonna go slip, because you guys have to talk about doors again. So I'm gonna go do my.
True.
It's no one's
Alright.
fault. We were compelled.
Yes, and to be clear, friends, it would have to be a very, very big secret. And he kind of winces a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make
feel
it better.
Doesn't feel better.
I love
That
it.
Kiona straight up is like, nah, it doesn't feel better, man.
Mazra just shrugs because she gets it.
I love it.
Mazra didn't say the horse, so.
She's get. I know that's what popped into my head too. I was like, I know that's gotta be what she's thinking. Like
yeah.
that was the first thing that popped into my head was
That was-
eating
yeah,
Fiona's horse.
instantly, yeah. But I love that that's not Mazra's
No, of
perspective.
course
you know?
not.
Like,
Right, and I
so
would have been
good.
disappointed if
It's
Mazra
just
had
a
said
good
that.
meal.
Like, that was, yeah.
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 Traditional orcish dining, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
mean
we
the-
did
you mean
right.
the eating the hard part. Yeah. Look,
So-
she was not under her own power at that point. So
Right. The remaining doors are rejuvenation, reproduction, reflection, and reverie.
I think they're all going to be equally bad. So
I wish it was Rivery.
I don't know.
if it
Maybe
was
just
Rivery, we'd
Scarf
probably
Rivery
drown.
wouldn't be too bad.
Oh, Kiona would be fine.
Yes, Kiona would be fine.
Well, you got flying boots. You don't have to worry about a river.
Oh yeah, you two would be fine.
It is true,
I
and
can
that
also walk on
scarf
walls,
has
so-
that scarf has gotten me through some hairy situations.
Well, I am terrified of reflection. And I don't really.
Oh, why are you terrified of reflection?
Well, what if we have to like fight ourselves or something?
Kiona thinks back
We
on
already-
all the times
didn't we already
she's
do
faced herself.
Yeah, you've literally done that before.
I know. I know. And I don't want to do it again. It was
Well, then
horrifying.
you
It
can
was
fight
terrifying.
me, and I'll fight you.
All right, well,
Is that a good
reproduction.
idea?
I
Yes,
don't know.
because honestly, Foodle, I think you could kick my ass. So
Rejuvenation and reverie
Really?
feel like they
Yes.
should be the most likely to be okay then. So maybe if we go into reproduction or reflection first,
rip the bandage off.
then we
Yeah.
might have a chance of getting a shot at getting a good room after that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't think there are already good rooms, but
Well,
Probably not.
remember, this is a sadistic goddess who's playing games with us.
I know how you feel about goddesses, Mazra.
Okay. Well, what about the Rivery one?
Oh, well, I thought
It's
that
as
one
good as
sounded
any
nice.
other.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're thinking reproduction?
Or, well, you don't want to do reflection, so
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I guess reproduction.
It might
would
be
okay.
nice. well, I chose the last.
Why are we
door,
letting
I think.
Kiona and Foodle decide which door
I
to
know.
go
Why is no one
through?
else
Because it
saying it?
doesn't-
What is
It doesn't matter in the end. There's no strategy here.
Oh, there's a strategy. We just got to figure it out. Okay. Let's rip the band-aid off. bandage off. Let's do reflection. Yeah?
Very well.
Very well.
Alright,
Okay.
you tried to open the reflection door and it's locked.
Oh.
Oh.
Well then.
Well, that solves that, I
Masha?
suppose.
I'm assuming at this point you're gonna test all of the doors, or do you want to test them in a specific
Reproduction
order?
would have been the next one then.
Locked.
Oh. Test them all, babies!
Yeah.
You find that the rejuvenation door does open.
Okay.
And I will be very clear about how this room works so that there can be no arguments about it later. You sense that the magic of the rejuvenation room will allow you to take one long rest, and after that, the magic of the room will be depleted. So
Well, let's save
once
this one.
You use this room, that's it. That's your long rest. You
Yeah,
get
let's-
one.
Let's save this one.
That one.
Let's save that one.
And the only other door that is open is the reverie door.
Dungeon Master.
Yes. Dan.
For the rejuvenation room's long rest, do magic item properties that recharge on the following dawn or whatever.
Yeah, you would get
Okay.
the full benefits of your long rest. So your items
Okay,
will recharge and stuff. Yeah.
All right, Reverie is open. Is that what you said?
Reverie is open.
Don't
What
go
about the
chasing
ominous
waterfalls.
doors?
Locked.
Okay.
You get the impression, though, that in order to open the ominous doors, you have to use the magic in all of the other rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Reverie
Iskander,
it
there's
is, friends.
One glyph there that's lit up now. No, I don't know.
Yeah, there's one glyph above the door that is.
Come on,
yeah.
Iskander.
No,
Come on.
that's how it works. Yeah. one of the R's above the door lights up.
Wow.
I
Wow,
love that that's
okay.
a thing.
Okay, Foodle. All right, Foodle.
Anyway, into
They're
the
all
Reverie
just-
one.
The funny thing is that they're all R's, right? So there are
Right.
5 R's, and
Oh my
one of them
God.
is now lit.
All right,
when
well,
you
Reverie it
enter
is.
The Reverie door. I want you all to roll initiative again.
Ugh.
God. Okay.
I don't wanna.
It wasn't bad the last time.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good.
No, that was great.
I think that's literally my same roll
I
as
feel like
last time.
statistically that means this time it's probably got better chance of being
God.
bad.
It's mostly
I
just
got
to
the- I got the
determine
same
order
roll
that's
as well.
Okay.
happening in, yeah.
Okay, I've rolled 3 22s in a row on roll 20.
Oh, Foodles
that's
is an 8
crazy.
now, apparently. So.
Yeah, sorry, I just roll to get him on there, but I always roll mine manually, so.
Hey, so
I rolled a
you-
2. So
You enter the Reverie door, and each of you sees something different. This is why we've rolled initiative. So we're gonna start with Mazra. And speaking of moments that are in certain people's minds,
Uh-oh.
Mazra, you find yourself in a familiar situation. You remember the celebration of Stefan's accomplishments as a bard. You remember all of you playing the song together, Afima and her bell, everyone with their instruments, the celebration, the cold cream, all of that. Tell me what Mazra thinks about. What does Mazra see like when she comes into the scene? Where is Mazra's focus in this scene? Like, what is the part of this memory that is strongest for her?
I think for her, does she know she's like looking at a memory? I think it's like, or is she in it like at the moment, or is she looking at it?
You're in it, right? It's kind of like that dream sensation of like, you know that this already happened, but you're also experiencing it at the same time.
Right. I think maybe a sense of strangeness, and I think the sense of feeling different at this point because there's been so much time passed and like a disjointedness.
Does Mazra feel as though the joy that was present in that moment no longer reaches her in her present form?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that moment is probably transformed into a point where like the people that she's with, because she's with most of those people now, there's like I think a sort of like ease in knowing that those people are still around and that she's like they're like her people. And
yeah, you take a moment to look around the room, and because you know these people better now than you knew them then. You look at Kiona and you see her happiness as she interacts. You see maybe the way Foodle looks at Stefan, and the way the two of them interact, and you feel that sort of warmth, right? They might not have been your people then, but they're your people now, and it feels almost like coming home. You can almost taste the cold cream, and you're not sure, like if you scoop some of it out, like you're not sure if it's the memory of the cold cream or if you're actually experiencing this taste. But you feel surrounded by this warmth of revelry, which may have been what some of you were thinking of when you were looking at the revelry door. But you also notice eventually, after some time of basking in sort of this warmth of memory, that people are filing out of the room. They're heading towards their beds. The celebration is coming to a close. Does Mazra remember what happened on this night? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, there's no way she can't.
How does Mazra feel about what happens? Like before, like as you're ascending the stairs to go to your bed, how does Mazra feel about what she knows happens next in this dream?
I think she's a little grim, but she's not so much necessarily concerned about, because again, she recognizes this was some kind of weird intervention from a divine power, which maybe makes her mad considering she's in a place where she's being influenced by divine power. But I think she also recognizes that the afterwards she handled it a little poorly. So
so there's a little bit of dread, like acceptance, but dread. So
and also probably anger too, but
sure, yeah. So
she tried to pay for the horse. Okay.
Look, that's just okay.
I love the idea that Kiona is like, by the way, goddess, she tried to pay for that horse.
Just so we're sure, clear.
I just wanted to be noted. So you experience that odd split that sometimes happens in the dream world, right? You stand in front of this bed and you see yourself sleeping in the bed. You feel that sensation that washed over you that night, and there's something clearer about it. There's something, because in this instance, as you're watching that sensation come over you, it's not filtered through sleep. It's not filtered through a dream. It's sort of visceral. And there's something intoxicating about it, about the power of a god flowing through your body. And you watch as, this other you rises from the bed, passes from the room down the stairs, and then you feel yourself also compelled, caught up in that same moment. You see yourself go down the stairs. You see yourself tearing into horse flesh and you feel the hot, sticky blood and flesh running between your fingers. What does Mazra do? In reliving this moment, what does she do?
I think for her, like, she doesn't try and like stop herself.
Mm-hmm.
But she I think it kind of strengthens her resolve to deal with this situation in the now.
So you allow yourself to eat this horse heart a second time.
Yeah.
All right, so as you feel this hot flesh sliding down your throat, roll a constitution check. Unless there's a specific skill that you feel like, tell me how Mazra is reacting in this moment. It sounds like you're attempting to eat this thing and allow it to make you more powerful in some way.
Like, is she eating it or she's watching
Yes.
herself eating it?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Are you gonna attempt to resist, or are you going to?
Yeah,
eat the
I mean,
heart?
I thought you meant that she was letting herself.
No, you
her
also
other
like
self.
you're viscerally
No.
experiencing this.
Oh no!
Moment
She'll try
again
and
in your
not
life.
eat it. If it's her current self, she'll try and resist.
I can never remember all of the D&D skills.
Well, there's con for
Con
if it's, or
is
what-
not a skill.
Oh
so-
right, oh, yeah, that's ability.
Just checking here 1 second. So I will give you the choice in this moment, depending on how Mazra is attempting to react. You can either roll insight or survival.
Oh,
And tell me
They're both
what's
awful.
specific thing. I mean, unless you can think of some other way to use one of your other skills.
Right. From what I have,
I mean, I will allow you to look at your skill sheet and try to justify to me how you are reacting in this situation, but it sounds like you are either enduring and attempting to become stronger or attempting to resist the pull that is driving you to
yeah,
do
because
this.
I think she recognizes that, like, yeah, this happened and that's okay, but like she doesn't need it. Like, I don't think she feels like I think it's her willpower against like divine stuff at this point. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't need this. I've got my own stuff. I can attempt that. I don't know
I
if
mean,
I can use.
The skill that sounds like to me is either insight to knowing yourself well enough to overcome that moment, or
That's fair.
survival to resist that moment.
I'll try insight, and I don't know if I can give myself a bonus using one
You
of the
may
dice. And
You can roll first, but you can use the fate dice for this
Okay.
if you wish.
I have a reasoning for when I do, but okay, let's see. Oh, decent.
Alright, do you think that will pass?
Knowing you. I mean,
I am not, in this case, I am not going to reveal the DCs. So if you feel like
Yeah.
you need a fate die in order to succeed, you can make that choice. But this
y'all
is a
want
little
me?
bit-
I don't.
This is a little bit of a blind test here. So
Yeah.
I know whether
What do
you pass
y'all-
or fail, but you don't.
What do y'all think? Since these are shared.
I think we need to see if the DC is going to be 20 or higher, and this is a pretty good test.
Right.
Yeah.
You won't know. You
Well,
won't know the
yeah.
DC. It won't get revealed.
For,
Yeah.
for anything, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So do we want to test it or
So-
not?
Hmm. I mean, I say trust your gut.
Same. I'm okay
Wait,
if you use one.
What does that mean?
It's up to
Well,
you.
like trust
Wolf.
your instincts.
It's
Whatever.
your,
Because like,
Yeah.
No.
the decision into your lap.
Well, like-
Hour later.
well, no, because like I mean, you know, these dice, they're super cool and they are there to be used. So if you think this is an
Yeah.
important role and you want to make sure, just use
That
one. Like,
Monster can
that's-
resist.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll try it. Let's just see what happens.
Alright, so if you want, you can add a d6 to the roll.
Okay, because basically,
And then one of your dice becomes one of my dice.
I
Yeah.
have marked it on my little tally board.
if I roll a 1, I'd be so pissed.
Oh my goodness.
The wheel of fate spins. Alright, so we leave
Ugh.
Mazra for the moment, eating a heart, attempting you reach deep down inside of you, and because insight is the skill that you used, it's kind of like what you said, right? Mazra experiences this moment but also distances herself from this moment in an attempt to interpret what this moment meant for her in her life. She thinks about how she reacted afterwards and how maybe it wasn't the way that she felt like she should have reacted. And she thinks about the emotions that were summoned in her in that moment while this, while the blood is dripping down her chin and her neck, and the flesh of this horse heart is, sort of pulsing down her throat into her stomach. And she tries to internalize the idea that this was not her that did this. This was not an act of Mazra. This was an act of God that she just sort of has to live with. And we leave Mazra there for a moment to journey with Iskander. Iskander, tell us about the time that you spent with the Wayfarer.
He does not remember that time.
So when he attempts to think of the Wayfarer, what does he see? What happens in his mind when he thinks about that time?
When he thinks about that time, he was under the ownership, if you will. He was in the service of a traveling merchant from Volcania. Someone who knew the Wayfarer. The Wayfarer was a friend of his. And that was the whole impetus of their journey, is that this mysterious friend of Iskander's master called in a favor of sorts, and so they journeyed far to this little tiny middle of nowhere town in the shadow of the Stormspire Mountains, to a monastery of Eldrigo to meet this strange reclusive monk friend of his master's. And whenever Iskander tries to remember this monk, he just has like a blank face. It's like a dream, that this all happened in a dream. And then whenever he tries to remember their travels together, it's like a blank spot in his mind. And in fact, this is one of his reasons for being here, is that he believes that Narema has this memory of his that he lost in her possession, and he wants to try to steal it back.
Yeah, it's very unsettling. You walk into this room and for a moment you see darkness, and then you find yourself, and it's the same as with Mazra, you find yourself both watching and experiencing at the same time, in the same way that a dreamer does. You see yourself go into this room with your old master. You see this monk sitting, cross-legged on a cushion, his head bowed, and you feel very certain that when he lifts his head, you're going to see his face. You're going to know what he looks like for the first time in many years. But when he lifts his face, there's this almost comical, like it's like in a cartoon where someone's just drawn a scribble face on.
Just drawing, yeah.
So it's like a person, but like a stick figure face sort of thing, with no features, but just like flat, and then like pencil drawn eyes and a nose and a mouth. And go ahead. More of your games, Narema. You see yourself. He doesn't react to you saying that, but you see yourself following him. You try to trace that line of thought that drove you into the temple to find these missing memories. And it's this string of moments where you see things that you can almost remember about to happen, but every time this man shifts to look at you, the face is this cartoon face, and it's this weird juxtaposition between comical and uncanny. Like, you're not sure if this should make you laugh or if it should make you scream, that you see this man almost as a complete man, but with a cartoonish face. And what was the feeling that ultimately made you go to the temple to try and get your memories back? Like, what was the thing that finally drove you to take that action?
It's kind of like with Iskander, this string of memories, this continuity of memory. He has the beginning, he has the end. He knows what he did, but he doesn't remember being part of it. And so what compelled him to do this was actually the message that the discretionaries sent him, because Kiona was told to follow Iskander to Dal Kalash, and they reached out to him about this, and he was, over the sea at the time, unable to help. But when he received that message, he began to try to piece that memory back together. Because that message sort of awakened the, oh, this actually had happened to me when I was a child. Okay. I had gone on this journey, but I don't remember it. And he wants to try to help them. Okay.
So you find yourself in a situation similar to Mazra's, where you retrace your steps over land, over sea, to this hidden place where you attempted to, in some capacity, confront the goddess of fate. You find yourself outside the door again, watching and experiencing the moment that you attempt to penetrate this barrier. What skill, describe to me what you're going to do and what skill you are going to use to attempt to do it. If you can't think of a skill, you can just describe it, and I'll try and pick a skill for you.
I am going to offer my services. This is the Temple of Narema, a secret temple of Narema, in the capital of Volcania. A temple that's located sort of in a cellar somewhere, or at least the entrance is in a cellar somewhere. And one thing that's very common amongst the scholars is to, you know, there's a little bit of a quid pro quo kind of relationship with the scholars, and Volcania is a very scholarly kind of society, which Iskander is part of. And so he's attempting to offer his services in research to the Temple of Narema using his history skill.
So this
but in
would
fact,
be persuasion.
Okay.
If you're
but
attempting
in
to persuade
fact,
her.
So he's not attempting to persuade. Well, we could still use persuasion. I'm not gonna countermand your thing. But what he's actually doing is, like, he goes in, he says, like, hey, I'm gonna do this. But while he's doing the research, he's actually, like, looking into things he's not supposed to be looking into.
So you have a choice then between persuasion or deception.
All right, I'm taking persuasion.
You can persuade or you can.
Hey!
Is that
Hey! That's a nat 20, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright. So you both see and experience yourself at the door, and you know that when you came to this door, you know what happened. You passed into this temple, you were drawn into this strange astral plane, you were attacked by horrors that you can just barely imagine where they may have come from, and what crazed mind apparently put them together. And you remember that is what happened, yet in this dreamlike reverie, you attempt to... You aren't entirely sure if you are speaking to the goddess herself or to her acolytes, but you make this pitch about your skill. You hear the eloquence of your words as you weave this offer to fate or its acolytes. And we leave Iskander there for the moment to journey with Kiona. So speaking of the woman who was kicked by the donkey, start with a memory of Rika. Tell us about something that sticks out in Kiona's mind about Rika. It doesn't have to be bad.
I mean, Rika was like Kiona's mother, so she has lots of just learning chores and helping her out around the barn, you know, mucking stalls, but always going into the clearing in the forest, where the secret entrance to the place was, that also Kiona didn't really know about, kind of, sort of.
And focusing on the grove, we find ourselves, again, like the others, you know that you're probably dreaming. You see this clearing as though you're in a dream, but you also feel it. You feel the wind, you hear the leaves in the trees rustling, you feel the warmth of the sunlight. And what does Kiona feel standing in this grove at this moment? Is it like when she was a child?
Anything. This is why. This wonderful little clearing that's so peaceful and beautiful, and I trusted it. And I trusted Rika.
And you see again this disjointed nature of this place. It's almost like a split screen. And on one side of the screen is the brightness of the sun and the green of the grass. Just everything vivid, everything warm, everything calm, everything comfortable, like it was in your childhood. And on the other side, it's almost like a blighted thing, as if the trees are withered and the sky is dark, as if all the color has been leached out of this place, as if adult eyes have allowed you to pierce the dream of childhood and see this clearing for what it really is. And you have been back to this place as an adult with your companions. You have been down into that place, and you see yourself. It's weird because you see Rika there. You see this woman who was like your mother. You're holding her hand. It's almost like she's taller than you and she's leading you like a child, but also you're the same size as her. It's like this weird duality that the brain can only conjure in dreams. And you see her drawing you down into this place. And you know that, like Iskander, you don't remember how you came into contact with Adelotti for the first time. But in a way, it's like your mind is trying to fill that in. It conjures these scenarios, these almost dreamlike rituals that may have occurred. You know, and you don't know if these are wild imagination or if these are what may have actually happened, because like Iskander, you don't have anything but a very sketchy, it's almost like a crayon drawing sequence of, you know, a witch in front of a cauldron or a circle of candles or you know, these sort of things. What does Kiona do as she sort of sees this sequence that she knows leads to her encountering Adelotti for the first time?
I think she's going to try to focus on seeing I don't know. She's torn right now between, like, she wants to know that Rika really wasn't that bad, but also the genesis of Kiona Lottie is she wants to remember, like Iskander. She wants this memory. She wants to know what happened. She wants to know finally if Rika was actually a bad person or if
Is she more interested? Is she more interested in the mechanics of how she and Adelotti were joined, or is she more interested in the emotion of what Rika was thinking when this happened?
I think the mechanics.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I think
'cause
this
she
is going to
thinks
be
about that guy being dragged into or out of that other room during that other vision thing that we went through that time. that was when we did when Mazra apes and killed the thing. Because we saw that guy getting taken. So I think that's what is in Kiona's mind, is that did that happen to me?
So I think this would be an Arcana check because you're trying to figure out what happened magically to you.
Guys. Here we go.
Okay. And you see these scenarios playing out in front of you. Again, it's just like the same sort of duality as like Iskander experienced, where it's half, you know, childhood, you know, images, but also Kiona looking back on this as an adult, having studied magic, having gone through all these concepts with Ephema, having studied the names of things and the schools of the arcanas and trying to piece together. It's like that crazy board that people make, the crazy whiteboard with all the lines, and she's like doing this in her head and trying to like zoom in on these weird crayon animations to figure out like what the symbols are and what they mean. And we leave Kiona there to see Foodle.
Oh boy.
Foodle, tell us about the village where Foodle grew.
So Lumbrel was it was an abandoned human, like lumber camp, and so all the buildings were like way too big for gnomes, and all the furniture was really big. But gnomes, they're tinkers, and so they made a bunch of modifications, and so over time it started to look like a bunch of tiny creatures made a much bigger space their home. Anyway, and yeah, I mean I always kind of think about it like the Shire, like this sort of idyllic pastoral place.
Mhm.
I'm sure there was probably social drama and whatever, but like beyond that, I think it was a fairly idyllic place. And Foodle, he grew up there. He had never really left Lumbrel except to visit the forest surrounding it, and probably occasionally going into the town of, oh god, what was the town's name? Where Kyoto lived
Blycross.
anyway. Blycross, thank you. I was like, it's like a bridge name anyway. And yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't even know if we ever decided how long the gnomes had been living there, but probably at least a generation or two, I would imagine. So
Yeah, and for Foodle, he steps into this room, he sees a moment of darkness, and then into sharp focus comes this beautiful memory of the place where he grew up before the goblins came. And I think, having talked to you at one point in the past about this specific thing, I think the memory that Foodle first settles into is the day that he was given Gimbal Shot, the day that this was gifted to him. It was from his uncle, was it not?
it was, yeah. That's why it's called Gimbal Shot. His uncle, his uncle. A lot of the gnomes in that village, they go by nicknames, and his uncle's nickname was Gimbal. And he was like a sort of a tinker trader type guy who would, trade between different villages, and he had crafted this because his wife, Waywocket, anyway, she had been training Foodle as a hunter. His aunt was the one who traded Foodle. So anyway.
Yeah, and so you see, kind of like when you were talking about the childhood memory and the feasts that you used to have in the gatherings, you see your family all at the table together, something that hasn't happened since the goblins came. You see this gift given to you, you feel that excitement, you feel that warmth of the day that this precious weapon was given to you. And it's kind of like, it's that thing that dreams do where time is compressed, right? You see sort of Foodle re-experiences his life from that moment until the day that the goblins come. And you sort of know on the morning when you reach that morning, you feel happy, you feel like you're about to just go about your regular day, but there's a part of Foodle that recognizes this day as the day where everything went wrong. What does he do?
Well, so the day the goblins attacked, something that Foodle, it was sort of a rite of passage to become kind of a full hunter in Lumbrel, at least in his aunt's eyes. I don't know how many of the other gnomes cared, but at least for his aunt, Foodle needed to go and kill Tuss. Hold on. There was like a
Gut
big
Ripper.
boar that was like Gut Ripper. Thank you.
Gut
This
Ripper, yeah.
huge freaking boar that had kind of been plaguing the hunters of Lumbrel, and so I based on what you're saying, I think Foodle, even though when it happened, he didn't have like an ominous feeling. I think Foodle might have waking up this morning early, and having a quick breakfast with his aunt, who gives him some reminders and pointers and stuff. He's got like this bad feeling, this ominous feeling in the back of his mind the whole time. And so he goes and he sort of wakes up his parents and he gives them a big hug, and they're like, "Oh, Foodle, you can do this," you know. And so he doesn't know why he's doing this, but he's like, I don't know, something bad's gonna happen. So he like, you know, says goodbye to his parents and then his uncle, and he even says goodbye to his best friend. And then he leaves the village and he goes and somehow manages to kill Gut Ripper in a very.
So when the time
go
comes to leave, he does
Okay.
leave to go kill. He doesnn't stay behind. He leaves to go
Oh.
kill.
Yes, but
Um,
so the difference is, instead of just having breakfast with his aunt, he kind of says goodbye to everybody.
And so you see Foodle goes through, he says goodbye to everyone. He gets a lot of really concerned, like suddenly everyone is really concerned about, you know, and Foodle gets a lot of, "Honey, what's wrong?" and you know, what are you talking about? Why are you acting like this? Did you have a bad dream? And you come to Foodle comes to the moment where he leaves to kill this boar. Like, he feels the draw of the hunt, the thing that he's supposed to do, but he senses that if he stayed, despite having come to terms with everything that might happen, despite having said all of his goodbyes, he has a moment where he thinks, what if I could change this? What if I could reverse this sense of impending doom? What if I could banish this shadow? Does he still leave to kill the boar?
So he has a moment of clarity where he sort of realizes, like he knows what might be
I
coming.
know what's coming. Yeah, yeah.
I think he definitely would. Like, there, you know, you know, Foodle is not smart enough to consider like butterfly effects and whatever. I think, you know, he'd want to save, like, knowing there's a goblin invasion coming. He's gonna go back to the village and just warn everybody and get as many people to Blycross and to safety as he can.
So tell me what skill Foodle is using in order to try and save the village that he grew up in from the goblins.
It's gotta be persuasion, right? Like, I don't know, because like he's gonna seem like a crazy person.
This is 100% up to you. If you think Foodle's way of going about this would be convincing people that they have to get ready to fight, then
Right.
roll persuasion. Or if you think he would use you know, his skills as a warrior, you know, you could choose survival, something like that. If you think he would build fortifications, you could do athletics. It's 100% up to you. You get to decide what Foodle does in this situation.
Right. I mean, I think, you know, knowing what he knows, I think what he would do is try to get everyone to leave the village. And I think he would have the presence of mind. I mean, he does have it, you know, we meme a lot, but he does have average intelligence. I think he would probably say something along the lines of, like, you know, trying to use survival. Like, he saw tracks, he followed them, then he sees the actual, like, goblin army, right? So it might have to be like a bit of a survival and a deception. I don't know, because he's lying.
So
he's not going to go do that, right?
Okay, so if he doesn't actually go and like do the tracking, it would be
No.
deception.
Okay. All right. Ooh, here we go. Okay, that's an 18 minus plus. What do we got? It's a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, so you know, Foodle has this moment where he's like, wait a minute, I don't have to let this be the same. I don't have to let this creeping darkness come and consume my village. I can do something about this. I didn't have the chance to do it before, but I can do it now. And he gathers everyone together in the village and he tells them this story about these goblins or these creatures or whatever he invents that are coming and that they have to get out. And he uses the knowledge that he has now from having fought all of these different beasts to make up this story, to convince or frighten the gnomes into abandoning their homes, at least temporarily, so that they aren't there when the bad stuff comes. Okay, so we return to Mazra. To find my notes, sorry. I didn't know what order you guys were gonna roll in, so I have to find what order I put you in.
Right.
So you experienced again this moment of eating a horse heart, and we know, those of us who have watched the campaign, what happened in the real world after this. But this is not the real world. This is the realm of fate. And as the Wheel of Fortune spins, we see a different Mazra. Instead of rejecting the power that infused her on the night that she ate this horse heart, instead of taking a step back and soberly peering at what she did, Mazra has embraced the hand of this deity, Grumsh, this vicious, violent, bloodthirsty god. Tell us what a Mazra who worships Grumsh would look like. What is this version of Mazra?
Probably very scary, just because all that determination and like stubborn willfulness is just channeled in a different direction.
Sorry, I'm clicking on all the wrong things. Yeah. So instead of we know that in the real world, Mazra has fought against Grumsh's followers and even rescued her aunt from them. But instead of doing that, we see a version of Mazra who embraces the cults and not just embraces, but becomes ambitious. We see Mazra rise through the ranks, because we know that Mazra is pretty decent at killing. We've seen that in this world. So describe what Mazra would do to prove herself to Grumsh, to prove that she is worthy of being high in his regard.
Mm-hmm.
What would evil Mazra do?
Oh my god. I mean, probably like what wouldn't she do at this point? I mean, she'd probably. I mean, I guess it would depend. Oh, like if it's at that point where she already knew these people, like
you can hone in on any moment that you would like and describe a moment from evil Mazra's life.
I mean, if she was traveling with her companions and like there's a man to like kill them, she probably would.
Okay, so what we see in this moment is that Mazra, who has been traveling with the caravan, secretly sneaking off into the night to worship her dark and bloodthirsty god, sacrificing small creatures so that she can eat their hearts whenever she feels like she needs another hit of that power.
Kiona wouldn't be with this version of Mazra.
Well, of course.
Yeah, well, Kiona wouldn't be with this version of Mazra because one night, as she rises from her bed, she feels compelled by Grumsh to put a knife through Kiona's heart. Or neck. Or other place where she'll bleed. Any place, really, as long as she bleeds. How does Mazra kill Kiona?
Well, because she knows Kiona is powerful, I think she would make quick work of it. Because even though normally she would probably enjoy some slow bleeding out, she doesn't want to get spelled in the face by a sorcerer. So yeah, she'll probably just slit her throat and just
And
do a little bit of facial moisturizing and
does Mazra believe that consuming the heart of a sorcerer would make her more powerful?
I don't know if she'd necessarily think that, but she'd probably do it anyway. Because she's got the taste now, thanks Shagraz.
If I may offer a reminder of something that happened in the past, Mazra did long after the vision that this at the time that this vision is portraying, but Mazra did later on have a vision of Grumsh's origin story as an orc who ate the heart of a creature that was tormenting him and gained power in that way. So this would,
absolutely.
such an act would be literally reenacting Grumsh's own rise to divinity.
Yeah. So she wouldn't wait too long because she still wants it to be warm. So, she's probably gotten a lot of experience with, rib cracking at this point. So efficient.
So, what skill is Mazra using to slaughter the caravan and eat their hearts?
Oh. Let's see. If she's being is she being stealthy about it? So she could use stealth.
You could use stealth.
So she doesn't
I
get
would accept
caught.
Stealth.
Okay, well let's do that then. Gosh. Like if you're gonna go full, to be fair, she has seen a version of herself where I think she was a follower of Grumsh previously too. So
Yeah,
you're gonna go full evil. Go full evil.
You don't get the impression that this is treading specifically new territory. Reverie is essentially the act of remembering. So you are remembering your travels, just maybe not as precisely as they actually. And so we'll give Mazra some privacy to eat her hearts. I'm assuming she doesn't want an audience for that. And we go to Iskander. So again, time advances. You recall that you attempted to sweet talk a goddess, and perhaps there's a world where maybe that would have worked and everything would have been great and everything would have been wonderful. But Iskander's future takes a slightly different turn. He sees himself as a puppet of the Mistress of Fate, a slave to her desires, serving her purposes, meting out her justice, acting according to how she dictates that he should. Because after all, shouldn't one who comes seeking to gain something from a goddess serve her in order to earn it? What does Iskander do? How does Iskander react to being forced to live a life devoted to preserving and improving the power of those that he would rather fight against. Again, you can do the same thing. You can pick some moment in this Iskander's life and describe what he would attempt to do. I broke him.
This is gonna get pretty dark if you ask me this question.
It's not necessary. Did you not listen to Woofs?
I listened to Woofs. I listened to
Embrace
Woofs.
Embrace it.
I listened to Woofs.
I mean, Iskander's not living a happy life right now, so what does he do?
Well, he's obviously not living a happy life if he's being, like, pressed into service of a goddess.
Mm-hmm.
Especially one like this. Are
any of them any good, really?
No. That's not the point. The point is that Iskander lived his life as a slave. He obtained his freedom, and for it to be taken from him like this, he would not just go along with that. He would not abide by that.
He would fight.
So he would, yeah, even if it led to his own destruction.
Would he fight alone, or would he gather an army to help him in this?
Well,
quest?
he's not gonna gather an army. He's a bookish, nerdy kind of historian. He can't just whip up an army. So
this is a world without limitations. If Iskander wants to attempt to gather an army, he can attempt to gather an army.
But in his own mind, that would not be something that he would be able to do.
Would he attempt to do?
So what he would probably attempt to do is feed false information into Narema's network. Possibly research. Here's what we're gonna do.
You're
He
really
will-
trying to get
he
that
will
history in there.
Research a secret so dark and pernicious that it would destroy Narema's warship altogether. But in all likelihood, destroy himself as well.
I will give you 3 choices of what you can roll for this. You can roll history, you can roll investigation, or you can roll religion.
I'm gonna roll history. Oh, I've got one.
Did you roll?
Cauliflumps, hold on. I didn't roll yet. I'll roll. But Cauliflumps, I'll have to. Oh my god.
Is that a
What?
1?
It's a nat 1, but somehow a 22? What?
Whoa.
Nat 1s
What
are
is it?
unfortunately... How are you getting a 22
What is-
out of a
what
nat
is that?
1?
What is going on?
Well, I've never seen that before. Is
Okay.
that like the rogue? Oh no, that's a bard thing where it's like, or no, is it
Yeah, what?
a rogue thing where it's reliable talent or something?
Yeah, no.
Like you
It's supposed to
can't
be
roll
it's supposed to be expertise. Can I just
don't
do a
know.
physical roll and just add it together?
Yes, I will.
Because
let
that's
you do that.
Borked. What is that?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, it's where if you roll below a 10, you treat it as a 10.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say the thing is, the way I run things, a 1 is a fail, regardless of reliable talent.
But a nat 20 was what I rolled last time, and it was not a success.
You don't know if it was a success or a fail.
Well, you stated that it was a fail.
No, I haven't told any of you if you've passed or failed anything, but a 1 will auto-fail.
All right.
You simply didn't achieve the thing that you were trying to achieve. That doesn't mean it was a fail.
Well, it was. I achieved the opposite of what I was trying to achieve.
Right.
So
You don't know what these rolls are, and you don't know if they have any direct effect on the visions that you're experiencing.
right.
But I do believe in the auto success, auto fail on nat 20s, nat 1s.
All right. Well, there we go.
We are playing with the swing of fate here, unfortunately. But I'll tell you what. The Crucible of Fate exists. I will let you burn a fate die to reroll.
As a devil's bargain. All right. I will do the devil's bargain. And we will re-roll again. Yeah, Rai, you're right. That's what it is. It's just when you look at the output, it's bonkers.
Players.
It's like 1d20, 0d20, plus 10, 1 plus 5 proficiency, plus 7 mods, 1 empty bracket, plus 10.
So crazy.
Yeah. It's just some weird math that it does to make that ability work in Roll20.
Yeah,
That's what it
wild.
is. Yeah.
And the DM now has 4. You guys, 4.
Yeah, that's okay. This is what she's
so that you can get them back.
And she's not gonna use them. She's gonna save them for the final battle.
I know,
and be
but
like,
that's
up yours,
what I'm
children.
saying.
Here's the thing is
There we go.
you re-roll at the beginning of did you just replace a nat 1 with a nat 20? Alright. Sure. I shouldn't have let you re-roll that.
Okay. Polly, I'm gonna send you a DM.
That means it's important.
And I don't know if this will be like this is not my thing to do if you don't want me to do it, especially if you haven't reached this point in your campaign yet. So give me one.
While you do that, I'm gonna run to the washroom quick while you decide whether or not to say what you're gonna say.
We're gonna die.
Just think, if we all die, we all have to make them new characters at level 15, so...
I guess that's true. Somebody's still gotta save the world, huh?
Megan will have to deal with the fallout of that.
Alright, Collie. That's my idea.
You know what we should just do, though, if that happens, is all of us just play, like, an NPC from the campaign that just steps in.
That takes up our charge for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voodoo could play Andrea Pantalonia.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean we're not there yet, but I think it still would work and be doable. Because I think Ghost, you and we've talked about where is
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. As long as you can be vague about the location of the Four Realms, then we're good.
Okay.
Thank you, by the way. I really appreciate that. So I know Pug watches these. In fact, I've said too much already.
No secrets for you, Pug.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what your players know.
Right. Yeah. They know very little about the end game of this arc anyway. So.
Okay.
But it is kind of cool because like that would absolutely work for my campaign as well. Like, anyway, yeah. Wait, what you sent to me.
Yeah.
All right, so say what you were gonna say.
All right. Let me just make sure that last bit is okay with Collie Flumps before I say it.
All right. Ooh. I'm glad you ran that by me. I don't think that would work.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll just do something completely different.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yep. No, that's okay. I'll do something completely different. So what he over the course of years with painstaking meticulousness is he finds a way to allow Narema to understand what the Infernals are doing in the afterlife. In the I don't think we call it the abyss, but in hell, basically. The secret to squeezing all the nice, juicy life force out of the souls that they capture, finds a way for her to learn how to do that for herself, and so doing gain power for herself. But what it ends up doing is, in short, sparking a massive conflict between Narema and other gods who are aligned to her, and the Infernals. And basically, what ends up happening, fast forward through this vision over the course of years, is that what Iskander has...
Oh, we'll get to that in a few minutes.
Okay.
You don't get to fast forward right now.
Yep.
I have so much shit open. Sorry, I keep trying to click on Roll20, and I click on literally every other window I have open, and it's not helpful. Alright, we come back to Kiona, who, has moved on from whatever ritual came to connect her with Adelotti. She has met Adelotti. She has formed a connection with Adelotti. And we see that moment where everybody went through the portal and was knocked unconscious, and we see that first time that Adelotti sort of stepped in and took over Kiona's body and took control. And when that originally happened, Kiona was unconscious. She wasn't able to interact. But in this vision, when she returns to this moment, she finds that she can interact with Adelotti the way Adelotti interacts with her now. She finds herself sort of as a backseat passenger, watching Adelotti sort of take control, be able to do these fantastic things that she can't do. And she sees this happen more than once. And she feels that fear, that lack of trust that was instilled in her from the grove, from the clearing, in the trees. Can she trust somebody who can take over her body and make it do whatever she wants it to do? What if Adelotti doesn't give it back? What if she takes over? What if she does whatever she wants to do instead of agreeing, instead of striking a contract to act together? What does Kiona do in this situation? Backseat in her brain, what does she do?
I think that present day Kiona is more afraid of losing Adelotti than her taking over. I feel like
Is Adelotti
she would allow
the
it.
only one she trusts?
It
Is
might
this
be.
the...
It might be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of fighting against this, instead of trying to regain control of her body, you think Kiona would try to make a deal with Adelotti.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be you and me against the world.
We've got this.
Let's roll a persuasion check.
All right. You know, it's an 18.
Do you want to let that stand, or do you want to use the final fate die to try and buff it?
I'm not using our final fate die. I already think we're gonna die because we only have one left.
You will get them back eventually. I just don't have anything. I just don't have anything to roll on right now. This is kind of all you guys.
She trusts
at the
that
moment.
Adelotti will see her and trust her, so she won't use the fate die.
Okay. All right. We see Foodle in. It might not be the same woods. It might be new woods. But we see that however he did it, whatever he did the first time, Foodle rescued the gnomes from whatever was coming for them. He saved them from the goblins. He saved them from whatever came after that. They have, it might not be the same village, but they have a village. They have a place that is protected, and we see Foodle as the guardian of this place. He's the captain of the super guard of this place.
Oh,
We
we found him.
Aha! Aha!
It was me all along.
He's the captain of the super guard. He keeps the village safe from everything. Not just the evils that might have come from outside, but also the evils that might have come from inside. And we see Foodle doing the same kind of work he does now, except when we look a little bit beneath the surface of this village, this new or old village, whatever it may be, there's a sort of Stepford Housewives vibe where the smiles are a little bit too wooden or perfect, and there's a little bit of an undercurrent of anxiety when Foodle passes in the street to say hello. Foodle doesn't notice, it's Foodle, but there's a sort of almost fear that passes in the wake of the captain of the super guard, because no one really wants him to turn and look at them too closely. What does Foodle do as the captain of the super guard?
Well, like you said, I don't think he would notice. But he does his best. So, having sort of saved the village, he will always be on guard, because based on what he knows, there's still a huge goblin army out there somewhere, right? Like, or maybe there's the Reavers or something. So he's scouting, he's training other people in the village as best he can, to get them ready for, what's really coming. So yeah, he's just like he's probably drilling people. He's going on scout missions. He's doing all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what skill is Foodle using as the captain of the Super Guard? It's literally called the Super Guard in this world. He has
Yes,
a
it
big like patch that says like SGC, Super Guard Captain.
Right.
What skill is he using to protect this village, maybe a little too overzealously, from evil?
Let's see. This would probably be. Yes, I mean it sort of depends. Like if he's training people, it might be like, I don't know, attack rolls or something. But if we're going for skills, probably like survival, where he's like scouting for threats and trying to maybe training others to scout for threats, right? So maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do, you could do survival. I would also say something like, if you wanted to do like teaching other people how to fight, you could do something like athletics probably, because I think that would be like the closest thing for a warrior to do.
Yeah.
But if you're using your essentially warrior skills, I think athletics would be reasonable.
Unfortunately, Foodle is terrible with athletics, so we're gonna.
I mean, you can use the survival if you want to use this. You can choose.
Okay,
It doesn't
okay.
have to be one or the other.
We'll try survival. Well, that doesn't matter when you roll a 4. 13 total.
Do you want to use a fate die in order to try and boost that? The final fate die?
No. 13. I mean, when you roll a 4, I don't think a d6 is going to help.
Okay. He continues super guarding. So now we fast forward in each of these visions to the final stage. And you've probably realized where this is going. It's somewhat prophetic almost that Ghost made mention of Grumpsh's history and how he became the god that he is today, how he slayed a foe and ate its heart and absorbed its power. Because as we all know, Mazra doesn't really like the gods, does she?
They can all get
She
fucked.
considers them to be somewhat lazy and unwilling to get the job done. So let's say that Mazra, given a chance to rise through the ranks until she becomes the right-hand champion of Grumpsh, let's say she sees herself lifted by the hand of this bloodthirsty god and offered a devil's bargain to have the ultimate power as a mortal. How would Mazra react to that?
Oh yeah, she'll yeah.
Does she say yes?
This version of
or-
her, I assume.
Oh, this is fully evil Mazra.
Yeah.
I don't know if fully evil Mazra would accept a deal from a god that she could kill and, I don't know, eat his heart and become a god.
Yep.
Do you?
Yes. No hesitation.
Describe how Mazra kills Grumpsh and eats his heart and becomes him.
Depending on how cyclical lore works, I feel like she may have to make some kind of a sacrifice of her own. So I feel like in order to fulfill the cycle, she would probably either gouge out or remove one of her own eyes to, like, metaphorically and physically become like Grumpsh, to give herself the ability to murdoil him. And yeah, I think that I don't think that she would necessarily be fair about it. She would find a time to strike and would take it when that happened. And yeah, would just dig into that tasty meat.
All right, let's look at the skills and see what skill it is to gouge out one's own eye.
Medicine.
Let's. I'll give you a couple of choices. We could do survival here.
Oh
Or we
God!
could do intimidation.
Yes,
I feel like it
take
would be
that one.
pretty damn intimidating to rip out your own eye.
I take intimidation.
All right, tasty meat. Hey Joe, how's it going?
All right, okay.
Oh, you mentioned the story. Yes,
No!
I did.
Fuck!
Well, we offered it to one. We have to offer it to the other. Would you like to use your final fate die to re-roll?
I can't. I've already used one. That's not fair to the party. This Mazra would, but I would not.
Fair. All right. So we see.
I was like, it's of course my one of my great skills, and I roll that.
Right, for real? You always roll like 30 on
No,
intimidation.
I
and
was
it's
like, she's gonna take intimidation. Yeah. I was like, she's gonna nail intimidation as fucking Mazra, but then,
Nope.
hey, maybe this Mazra. But in the vision, we do see Mazra rip out her own eye. We see her murder this god. We see her become the bloodthirsty god and gather the masses into worship around her, and probably go on to murder the rest of the gods because that's what she wants to do. End scene.
Happy ending all's around.
So, Iskander's goal was to ruin the goddess of fate so that he could essentially escape her. So
Literally unleash hell.
yeah, so what we see in the future is we see the masses of hell rising up, invading, beating down this goddess who has taken so much from Iskander, who has made him work according to her whim. We see, contrary to what he believed he could do, we see him becoming a great, maybe not a commander, maybe he doesn't see himself as a commander, but we see him as an influencer. We see him as someone who has understood the mechanics of the hells and who has risen into a position where he is now the one who pulls the strings, and he is now the one who determines the fate of others, not because he is told to by someone else, but because he is able to do as he pleases. Why don't you describe this figure that Iskander becomes? What does it look like? What does this dark version of Iskander look like? Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, people watch him through their scrying pools, and he's like, "Hey, it's your boy,
Holy shit.
I'm dead.
Iskander Blackford. Listen, I'm sick and tired. They're remaking a remake of this historical. You know, they're remaking a remake of the Grey Spires campaign, but they're changing all the pronouns. I can't stand it.
Grey Spires is
Anyway.
woke.
Is it? Yeah, it's woke. Grey Spires has gone woke.
Oh god. Not like this.
Like and subscribe to stop this sort of thing from happening.
Yeah, exactly. Fight the woke mob, am I right?
Yeah, fight the woke mind virus. No. Oh my god, please.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna get off that train right now. Basically, he's instigated this war between Narema and the Infernals, fully expecting to perish in the conflict himself. So wrapped up is he in, giving Narema the knowledge that she needs to kick a hornet's nest, knowing that when she does, literally all hell is breaking loose. Somehow he survives this, and what
Not
he
just
does,
survives, he thrives.
he finds himself in a position where the shattered priesthood of the dead goddess Narema.
Keep talking, I'm gonna go get water.
Yeah. He basically finds himself in a position of influence. And he basically keeps up this facade that Narema is merely asleep. She's just taking a nap right now, guys. Because she's been so weakened by this war against the Infernals, that she can only communicate through him, and he becomes literally a false prophet for Narema, and extends her dark and secret network across the world. Sort of takes command of the shattered remnants of it.
So he becomes a televangelist.
And then rebuilds it. But without the television.
The power.
Yeah, but without the but he
used my pinky.
but in part because of his very humble origins in an extremely stratified society that is Volcania, he never openly operates. He's sort of this shadow power broker. That's kind of how he. Yeah. He's never the king, but he's the person who has all the kings in his pocket.
So I'm gonna say this is either gonna be deception or performance.
Both of those are bad ideas.
Well, look, unless you can justify.
But let's see which is the worst.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't think you can history your way out of this one. Maybe religion. If you didn't use religion for the last one. You can maybe.
I'll take a religion. I'll take a religion. Yeah, I did not use religion. I'll take a religion. It's pretty bad too, but let's see what comes out of it. All right, 11.
Do you want to buff that with the last fate die?
Nope. You're not getting that satisfaction out of me.
I have to make the offer. It's there. Alright, so I think we all know what this version of Kiona's ultimate thing is, because she's asked it many times before. Are we the baddie? What if you and Adelotti were the baddie? What if you and Adelotti had the power to do whatever the fuck you wanted to do? What would that look like?
It would look like a whole lot of mess. Given that Kiona really has no idea about what is good and what is not. At this point, her whole vision of everything is skewed. So I feel like it will still look like Kiona Lottie genuinely feel like they do good things, but probably there's a wake of wreckage and awfulness in their wake. Like,
yeah,
they just have like.
Yeah, you see this world where it's you and Adelotti against the world, and you try so hard to be good.
Right.
You try so hard and you get so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. It's, you know, you accidentally become the baddies.
Right.
There's good intentions.
Right. This is wicked levels of things. She's the Wicked Witch now because of bad
Yeah.
things that just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
What skill do you think you try to use to make the worlds not burn but actually burn?
Is this a skill I'm supposed to fail if it actually is burning?
So
if she's trying to make
passing-
it not burn, then it would be.
The passing and failing has nothing to do with what happens in the vision.
Okay.
The vision will end the way it ends,
She's
regardless
going
of what you roll.
I
I mean, you could just try to go insight. You could just try to figure out what the world needs.
I feel like that's probably what she would do, honestly, because that's also a very low roll. I think she.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, solid 10. All right. The world.
Would you like to use the last fate die in
No.
order to?
No.
All right. And we come back to Foodle, the most superest captain of the most superest guard. And we've seen this version of Foodle once before too, in a vision, I believe. We saw the version of Foodle who was so protective of the forest in which he lived and the people who lived there that instead of it's kind of like Kiona's thing too. He thinks he's doing good. He thinks he's doing so good. He's getting rid of all the evil. He's getting rid of everything that leads to evil tendencies. He's nipping it in the bud before, you know, anything can go awry. And suddenly he's holding the gnomes captive in the village and he's controlling what they're allowed to do and see and experience. And anytime anybody comes to the village to try and save them, Foodle just murders them. He murders, you know, his friends when they come to try and help the people. He doesn't know those people. He never met those people in this world. He never met the caravan or Mazra or Kiona or Iskander when they come to rescue the village. They're just strangers. They're just bad people. So what does Foodle do to protect his home that he made from everything in the world?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he just gets more and more paranoid, and the only people that he cares about in the world become the people in his village. Like, oh god. And yeah, like you said, I mean, he's gonna take anybody out. Like, you know, eventually, I think it estranges him from his family. I mean, his uncle wouldn't like that because his uncle used to travel, you know, like, oh god. Yeah, he just does whatever he can to keep those people in the village safe at the expense of everyone outside. Oh god.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awful.
we've basically seen this version of Foodle once before in a vision too, right?
Yeah.
It goes bad. What skill is Foodle attempting to use in his as this forest avenger, as this avenger of the village? He
You
is
know
the
what?
super guard now. There's only him. It's just Foodle.
So here's what I was thinking, like, as you know, as he becomes increasingly more like no one leaves, no one comes in, you know, like locking everything down more, I mean, kind of dictatory, right? Well, maybe that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Controlling. and more paranoid. Maybe perception, like where he's just trying to keep an eye on everything and nothing gets past
That
him.
makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it. Yeah. Well, he's paranoid, right? So you would be
Yeah.
watching out for everything.
Constantly looking over his own shoulder, maybe not even trusting, like, yeah. Well. Okay, so 12 plus 14, 26? Oh god, do I want to succeed this roll? Anyway, 26.
Again, the pass and fail doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what happens in the vision.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you all experience these things, and it simultaneously feels like a long time and an instant. And the visions that you have experienced disappear. You find yourself standing in an empty circular stone room, and the door behind you is open. There are no marks on you. There's no sign of any of the things that you did.
Do we know what everyone else saw, or just what we saw?
No, you only know what you saw.
Well, that was horrible.
That was something.
Fuck
else.
this room. And Mazra will walk out.
Yeah, let's never. Ugh.
Yes, quite unpleasant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Although above table, that was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But my character fucking hated that.
You go back into the room from which you came, the foyer area. The rejuvenation room is still unlocked. You get the impression you can go in there whenever you want. You test the doors again, and the door that is now unlocked is the reflection door.
Oh.
And I'm assuming we don't want to go too much later, so maybe we'll do the setup for this and get into the next room next time.
Yeah. I wish I could keep
Um,
going, but.
Yeah.
It is good.
Do you guys want to do anything before you go into the reflection room? I don't want to force you into a room.
I don't know. I
think
feel
I'll
like
just... Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I feel like Kiona is likely to want to keep that whole little scenario to herself, and I feel like she's not the only
Yeah.
one.
I think we've all just
We're all just like,
silently agreed not to talk about it.
We're just like awkward all of a sudden.
we're all just looking at each other like, oh, I just,
Yeah. Let us
what's
not
something
speak
over
of this.
there. I just,
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
What she has shown you is simply an attempt to manipulate.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mazra silently wonders what Narema's heart would taste like.
Oh,
And Kiona wasn't
I mean,
necessarily that unhappy at the end
Stardust.
of her vision. She was just kind of sad that it all went to shit at the end. She was like, no, this was a great thing.
She tried.
It was so
tried.
good at first.
It was so good. She's
I do like the idea that in the dark place of Kiona, where Kiona's like dark mind went, was the only person I can trust is Adelati.
It is the only person because she lives with me. She's part of me. We are one.
And you do have the lingering sense, like once the visions fade, you do all have the lingering sense of this person lives somewhere. That person that I saw lives somewhere deep down inside of
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
That person could be real. That person could be me. Even though Iskander says, you know, this is a cruel goddess playing with you, you get the impression that if the Wheel of Fate spun, that person could be real. Somewhere, somehow, that isn't just a made-up version of you, that could be you. It's
Right.
not you, but it could be you.
Kiona recalls
Take
a similar
take
vision
from that
of
what you will.
herself inflicting the attack on Blycross, I believe she had a vision once given to her like
Yep.
that. So she
Yep.
understands. When Iskander says that, she understands that this is another symptom like that, like the kind of thing.
Well, and for all of you, and this was intentional, what you saw wasn't necessarily new. It was made up of things that you saw or experienced before. And if you think about it, if you stop to think about it, you do recognize events from your journey just recast in a slightly different light. You know, if Mazra thinks about the followers of Grump, she would have seen her mother there, and she would have seen her aunt there, and she would have seen people that you guys have murdered for being Grumsh followers, but instead she was ordering them around. And, you know, Kiona would have seen some of these other six-eyed figures and perhaps even tried to connect with them and perhaps even ultimately failed, you know, things like that. It wasn't necessarily new territory, it was just kind of rearranging everything in a different way.
Yeah.
And so, as you all awkwardly shuffle to the reflection door, you are not separated this time when you enter. You see yourselves in a long hall, which I will actually see next time because I will load the map into Roll20 for next time. You see yourselves in a long hall, and there is a tall statue at one end. It doesn't appear to be the Star Striker. It looks like a warrior in armor with a sword pointed downward. And along, I'm trying to remember the map in my head. There's basically a long hallway and then sort of two offshoots that go and create like a square on either side. So there's like two sections of wall in the middle that cut off. And around each of those side corners, you see mirrors, two on each side. And when you each stand in front of one of the mirrors, you do indeed see yourself reflected, but your reflection does move independently of you. And I will reveal that the skill challenges that you rolled today will determine how your reflections react to you next time.
Great.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't like that.
Okay, well. Okay.
And I don't want to say too much, but I will say you guys came so close to almost being able to skip this room.
No.
Wow.
Oh man.
We should have
Zeroed
used
pretty
the
well.
point.
Oh.
So
Okay.
this room
gonna
was
need that
directly
point.
determined. So actually, the Crucible of Fate resets at the beginning of each session.
Oh,
so we
okay.
will
So we
re-roll
re-roll for
next
the point
time.
next time. Okay.
So you guys might have, yeah. I unfortunately didn't really have a way to roll dice this time, which was why your guys' pool was so limited, but I will actually be rolling stuff next time, so
Oh, good.
Ooh.
the fate will flow.
The fate will flow.
Heck yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That was so cool.
This was a fun
Oh my
session.
gosh. Thank you so much.
Megan,
Thanks for that session, Megan.
I love
I
it
hope
when
it-
you DM for us.
We didn't hurt anyone too much, but I liked that you guys all embraced the
Just
the
my
darker
soul.
versions of yourself.
Just my soul.
I liked that Wolf was like, yep, she's just gonna murder a god. She's gonna murder her friends. She's gonna murder a god. She's gonna eat all those hearts.
She just dove right in. That was great.
Gourmet.
Oh, so good.
Well, and I kind of mentioned this to Ghost as well. I didn't necessarily get any extra lore from him because I wanted those visions to come from you guys and from like what your experiences were and what
Makes
your
sense.
memories were.
That's
So-
cool. Man, that was awesome.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, what a blast.
Well,
I can't wait till next time.
This has been amazing. Next week, we are unfortunately going to be away once more for random things going on in a handful of our lives. But we should be back around the following week on one of our channels here. Probably Woof or
I think it's
I think
me,
so.
probably.
I think because
Yeah.
Ghost was last week. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So back
Yeah.
around on Wolf's channel the next time, 2 weeks from now. The next time we play will be July 8th. 9th? 9th. Holy cow.
July 9th. Dang.
Does that work? There we go. Go ahead and give everybody a follow if you haven't already. Friends, thank you so much for the raise and the follows. My goodness, you guys are amazing. We got some pretty awesome, a bunch of different raids and follows going in tonight. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the resubs. It is super late. I can feel myself coming down with this cold pretty hard right
I hear
now.
you losing your
Yeah.
voice like
It's,
actively.
like,
Yeah.
happening. So I think we're
Yeah.
just gonna shut it down for the night. It's late for Woof
Yep.
and everybody else too. So I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you for joining us, friends. We'll see you all later. Bye.
Good night, friends.